ITAL cooking in Jamaica. This was one of the very first videos ever published on YouTube. It was in 2006, just 1 year after the YouTube platform was created. The video is a very short clip featuring a Rastafari man cooking by the fire. He's known as Rasta Mokko, and he was destined to become one of the biggest YouTube stars in Jamaica.
Pure natural. Too big, but yeah, man.
The video hardly gained any views at the time, but one of those views came from a Canadian videomaker, Matthew Pancer, who had an idea for a unique cooking show. It is this show that launched a chain of events that affected the community tourism industry in Jamaica and the lives of millions of people across the world. It made them question their lifestyle, their mindset and values, called out hypocrisy and fakeness, challenged social norms and standards, but more importantly, it made people fall in love with Jamaica, authentic and raw, uncensored, unfiltered, imperfect on purpose.
We have to drink beer, because having beer with no beer.
That's a good reason. That's maybe the best reason.
Yeah, man.
This is the story of one of the most influential shows about Jamaican culture ever produced. The full story of Ras Kitchen. Before we move on, think about it. How many shows do you know that promote Jamaican culture? There are some true classics, and Jamaican television has its own great programs, but most of them are aimed at the local audience and the diaspora. Now think of the show that reached a massive international audience and actually made them visit Jamaica. 140 million views is not a joke. To pay full respect to Ras Kitchen Vibes, this is the first video on my channel that is totally uncensored and not exactly advertiser friendly, so if you're particularly sensitive to any of this, enjoy.
On the road of life, you know, sometimes it's rocky, y'all. Gotta keep on walking. Hold on. Yeah. On this road of life, which way you gonna turn? On the road of life, yeah. Which way are you going? On the road of life, you know. Live life and love life and live. Love is a something in life you have to give. Watch wrong with your man, I set your head like a sieve. You're too negative, time you get positive. Check out your vibe.
Tell me more about Ras Kitchen. What is it about?
Well, the original concept was the world's first ITAL cooking show. So when I came up with the concept, there was not much information about that on the internet. I was very interested in it, and I just decided, hey, I'm gonna go to Jamaica and try to find someone that cooks ITAL, and maybe I can be the first one to produce this cooking show. Not for YouTube at the time, I was trying to make a pilot for TV.
Why Jamaica?
I grew up with some Jamaican cousins, and I was always interested in the place, hearing them talk about how they'd come here every year for Christmas. So it was partially that, partially I was really into dub and reggae and hip hop growing up as a teenager, and I really did not understand patois and was very curious about these voices that you hear in pop culture, in underground music, and that just sort of brought me down the rabbit hole to, oh wow, there's a ITAL food scene, and there was nothing really much about it. So that was a few of the original seeds that got planted.
Which years are we talking about? When were you born, if you don't mind sharing?
1981.
Okay, 17th of September.
Yeah.
All right, okay, brilliant. So, no, I just thought I would mention that because there is all sorts of information in the internet. So
yeah, there's not much right about me out there that I see.
No, it's actually complete nonsense. All right, so you were interested in reggae music in the 80s, 90s? I would imagine.
I'd say more 90s as I became a teenager, more interested in music, and I was into DJing and buying vinyl, and it was all part of that. Drum and bass too, don't want to forget jungle drum and bass. So.
Why cook show then?
I was going to broadcasting school in, I guess it was 2005, I suppose. And I just had a huge list of what am I gonna do when I'm done school? So the dream at that time was come up with a cool original concept, hopefully involving travel just because that's fun, sell a pilot, syndicate it to 200 countries and retire. That seemed like the best idea. So this was just probably one of 100 ideas that I had. And I thought, oh, you know what? This one keeps coming back in my mind. I think I'm actually going to try to do this one.
All right, but you blended in Jamaica into it.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one of the ideas on the list. Like, who are these Rastafari? I don't even really know. I don't understand patois. Oh, look, they have a unique way of cooking. Hey, no one's done that. Okay, let's be the first to the gate rather than try to compete with something that already exists. There's already so many travel shows out there and that kind of thing. So just a different angle, a more niche kind of thing.
In one of your videos, actually the trailer for Ras Kitchen, you mentioned that, quote, Mokko is just possibly the coolest man on earth. As I understand, you and Mokko were huge friends.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the whole thing started. I mean, you have to have a good energy with someone if you're going to make something real and authentic. People see through facades very quickly, I think. So that was an important part of it, finding someone that I was vibing with and enjoying.
I saw there was like this huge synergy between you two guys. You were like best buddies. You were like going into places and having a laugh, and it was always like so much good vibes and fun. This kind of friendship, it continued for years. How many years?
I guess 13, 14 years. First time I went to Jamaica would have been 2010.
Okay, so that's when you met him for the first time?
Yeah.
So you went straight to him?
Yeah, basically.
Well, how long did you stay? 1 week?
Stayed 1 week, yeah.
And you came with your cameras and your equipment. You came with a crew too. Did you come with a crew?
Yeah, my friend Eric, who's a college friend of mine, came along. So I just bought his plane ticket, and very luckily he was willing to come along for free since I obviously had no budget. It was all self-funded. And yeah, I borrowed gear from Future Shop, which is an electronics store. So I put some stuff on my credit card, which I promptly returned when I got home. And I had one digital tape camera, DV tapes, at the time. So it wasn't even digital. I'm literally shooting. I have all the old tapes from this first trip still, where there's probably a whole bunch of crazy footage.
VHS?
No, mini DV.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but no one's ever seen a lot of this stuff. I have probably 15 tapes of that whole time.
Oh, wow. Okay, but you called Ras Mokko right away. Did you book his accommodation on Airbnb or something?
Yeah, no, there was no Airbnb at that time, no. No Airbnb at all. So I literally called them and I said, I'm coming at this time on this day. And then I came to Jamaica with my friend Eric, and I was hoping someone was going to be at the airport by the time I got there. And I wasn't sure, but sure enough, when I came to Jamaica, there he was. That's the eating eggs dance.
Oh, you look good, man.
Yeah, look good.
Yeah, why not?
Mash up, big up mash up. In the belly. Mash up in the belly.
Very cool. Like a heist.
Nice.
I know how to close it.
Oh, well,
There we go.
first,
Yeah.
you have to turn off the light. Look,
Oh, damn.
you have to turn it off.
GPS.
GPS. No, you can't have this light on.
How did that happen?
I don't know, I think by accident.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. You know, you don't let this stuff in Jamaica.
No.
Yeah, you know. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I heard rumors. Maybe they are the real thief. I don't know. That's what everyone's telling me.
All right. How did you come up with this TV show idea? Because you wanted to pitch it to television. There was no YouTube back in the day.
I mean, there was YouTube, but at that time, I don't know if it was pre-monetization or I didn't even really know that it was a possible thing. And as a one person who tried to edit and making 10-minute videos, I thought it was really impossible to make so much work, enough to make a channel that would sustain something. So it seemed like an impossibility. So I had pitch meetings at Food Network, another couple networks in Canada. I knew some producers that I was running it by, and most of the producers told me it was a bad idea.
Why?
And then, why?
Yeah.
It just didn't have appeal, like it wasn't good enough. I even had another idea for like a dog food cooking show, how to cook for your own dog.
Oh, jeez.
And they thought that one was a better idea than Ras Kitchen.
Seriously?
Yeah. They're like, more people have dogs. So I'm like, okay.
So you pitched the idea to different TV channels.
Yeah.
That was after you visited Jamaica.
That was after, yeah. So that's why I didn't post on YouTube for almost that first year, because I was busy pitching not busy pitching. I mean, I had like 3 pitches my whole life, but figuring out what to do with the footage, putting together a sizzle reel, making something that someone might want to give me some money to make.
The concept behind Ras Kitchen.
I wanted to show a different side of Jamaica because you hear so much negativity, dangerous, don't go out of the resort, all these kind of things. I also wanted to show the life, the country life, and what it was like living as, you know, a Rasta in the mountains. You might notice during the first 7 years of the channel, I did not focus on weed or ganja at all. And that is a part of it, and I did want to showcase that eventually, but I didn't want anyone to associate the stereotypes with it. I wanted to show the real humanity and the real people and the food and the culture, and not so much what people already assumed about everyone. So I did touch on that later, but that was not the early concept.
How did you come up with the name Ras Kitchen? Was it your idea?
Yeah. Ras Kitchen, I just thought I wanted to leave it open. Like I said, I wasn't sure who I was going to work with, so I wanted to have an open-ended name. I didn't want to use the word Rasta specifically because it was so precise. Ras just had a nice ring to it, and it was kind of short form for Rasta Vibes, so I just thought that would be a good idea. Now, if you're talking analytics and algorithm stuff, it probably would have been a way better idea to call it Rasta Kitchen, but I was kind of ignorant to that at the time, so here we are. It's Ras Kitchen, that's it.
How did you discover Rasta Mokko?
Well, I was looking online to see if anyone had ever done something like this, and there was very little online about it. There's almost nothing on YouTube about Ital food or Rastafarian chefs, but I did find one little video clip on a site called Worlds Together Travel Network, which was started by the Birney family, Dave and Dianne, and they were a really cool couple from Michigan that had done a bunch of traveling in their lifetime, alternative travel, and they had places in India, I mean, very rugged, more rustic accommodations, but they also had stuff from their trip to Jamaica. And there was a clip of a Rasta guy cooking on an open fire, and that was Mokko, and it had a phone number. I wanted to start somewhere. I didn't want to come in completely blind, so I just called him up and asked if he wanted to do a video for a pilot for this show that I wanted to pitch. And he basically just said, yeah, man, that was it.
Before we get into more details about Mokko, tell me about Worlds Together Travel. What is this platform?
Well, this is pre-Airbnb, pre-Verbo, pre any of these websites. And this family from Michigan is so cool. So Dave and Dianne, they were kind of hippie types and just super authentic people looking for real travel experiences. So they would travel all over, meet cool people, and then they would want to assist them in sort of getting a business going. So predating any of this easiness of Airbnb type thing.
Have you met them in person?
I have.
In Jamaica?
I have met their son a number of times in Jamaica, who's actually featured in some of the videos. So massive respect to Ben. Unfortunately, I never met Dianne before she passed away, so rest in peace to Dianne. She was just such a wonderful person, and I've talked to her on the phone many, many times, especially while going through the trials and tribulations that I was going through, because she really had a good understanding herself after spending time here and assisting the family. And luckily, I met Dave just this few months ago in Michigan at a glass blowing festival, because Ben is a professional glass blower, so I got to finally meet in person, and you know, these people that you feel like you've known online for a decade, and then I got to meet him in real life.
I wanted to big them up because they did kind of connect a lot of people from what I've seen.
Massively. That yard would not exist in the state it is today if it was not for them, and I would never have met the family if it wasn't for them. And they were the very first people to help them. Like, the yard was in extremely basic shape when they showed up, and they were the ones that helped build the first guest cabin on that yard.
I'm here with Ben Birney, also known as Straight, also known as Benjamin, also known as Straight Jamin.
Long ago in my global travel started the tradition to bring some of my work to be able to give gifts to people I meet.
Yeah.
And so this coming back to visit Mokko, I made a couple of really special pieces for him, and I also brought a lot of pieces so I was able to give. So Mokko says he hasn't taken it off, and it's been
20 years.
Yeah.
It don't come out.
Yeah.
I sleep with it. Everyone love it.
So how did you give him the name Straight?
We Jamaican know that when I don't fuck with about them bend up business, you know. We just I deal with that thing straight. So from that, another corner we have to take it back, that corner bend, right? We're looking for a bend turn. No, straight turn.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So now it's straight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I'm straight.
Straight like a harrow, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my father had traveled to Jamaica long ago and wanted to also share with me that experience when I graduated from high school. Was the first time that I came. My mother recognized how great of a opportunity and a unique opportunity it is in travel, and so we wanted to provide people the opportunity to find that, and Mokko the opportunity to share with people, you know.
Yes, all right.
Natural coconut juice. Well, this is the ripe chocolate. Where you make that? What? This is what make the bars. Yes.
Rasta coffee.
Yeah, man.
Hi, Dave. This is such a pleasure meeting you in online, but it's still great.
Well, good morning. You know, I've been traveling to Jamaica since the early 70s. And Dianne and I also came a couple times. You know, we met people and we had places to go. It was very nice. We kind of fell in love with the island. And we wanted to find an eco-friendly place, so we found one, which was Zion Country. It's run by a Dutch guy named Free-Eye, and he's a good friend now, because we've been there dozens of times. And his assistant was Mokko. So that's how we first met Mokko on that first trip. That was 2000. And we did visit Mokko at his house. It was rough, but my wife Dianne wanted to help Mokko out. So she started a website to bring people in for an eco visit to a Rasta's house where he's cooking ital. We did that, and we started the website, and it worked, and he got a few people coming in. And that, again, is all Dianne. She designed it, she did it, she published it, she did the research. I was photographer. I would go around and take pictures and write some stories, but it was kind of an anti-all-inclusive kind of deal where you go and you stay with somebody in a community, like Mokko's very small community in that. And when you come into their community, you know, you go to the bar and buy a couple drinks and that. Whatever you do, it helps everybody. You know, the all-inclusives tell you shouldn't leave. It's too dangerous. And we're going to go down to the first bar we find and go in and buy a couple drinks and sit and talk with people, and it just opens up everything. It's just fantastic. That's what we do. And we get to know the people. And we've been doing it for many, 25 years. So we've gotten to know a lot of people. We've helped a few out after a few hurricanes.
What I've noticed is that whilst together traveling, Dianne, the way she did the website and how she started attracting like backpackers and people who were interested in traveling, like she was very powerful on that. And a lot of people found those communities precisely because of her website. Was she a web developer?
She did a lot of things. She was a midwife and worked in women's health all her life in the hospitals. And she did very well. She's very serious. I'm not such a serious person. I have a good time. She was very serious, very educated, very focused, and she was really going to save the world. You know, she invested money, but she invested the money in green things, and she changed them all to be more eco-friendly.
But what do you do? What was your main profession?
I was a construction worker, and I am retired, but I make musical instruments now.
Oh, really?
Like there's some ukuleles there. I'll show you one that's really pretty. My daughter's here. This is a really nice one.
Oh, wow. Are you a musician?
Oh, yeah. And I've always played guitar since college, which is in the late 60s.
Was it reggae music or folk?
Not much reggae for me, yeah. Folk music, and now I'm playing more popular music. Yeah.
Why do you like Jamaica?
You know, I don't know. It's just, I know a lot of people that feel it's kind of a special place. As soon as your feet hit the ground, you feel like you're home.
The whole of them are ask where we come from. The whole of them are ask where we come from. Them are ask Beanie Man, where we come from. Them are ask Capleton, where we come from. Them are ask Cableland, where we come from. Out of for many, but you know I am one. We full up a style, we full up a pattern. And this type of lyrics, them can run Russian. Them a interview with on them television. I interview with.
Who are the Ras Kitchen audience? Who are the people you were making these videos for you in YouTube?
Well, the original thought was it's going to be very interesting for people like me who maybe love the music, maybe love the vibe of Jamaica, maybe you're curious to visit but have never been. That's who I thought the audience was for. And I was really surprised that as the channel grew, that there was actually fans in Jamaica. That was kind of mind-blowing to me. I thought it would be kind of normalized, like they would see this day to day. Not that everyone lives like that at all, but just you see these guys on the street, you interact with them. It's not particularly new, but I realized that Jamaicans and expats, and they were actually very, very interested to see a very inside, authentic view of things about the country lifestyle. So that was very surprising to me that it started getting popular in Jamaica.
But you have a lot of foreigners watching your channel who've never been to Jamaica, but
Yeah.
and some actually get inspired and they come to Jamaica from what I've seen.
So many.
Right.
Yeah.
I know because some of them stayed at my Airbnb that I used to run in Montego Bay, and they would then go to St.Thomas and stay with Ras Mokko, and you know, because they watched, so they were literally like watching the videos and like, yeah, we want to go there. So have you noticed what people were writing? Are they like coming to Jamaica? Have you met any of your fans here?
I've met so many people, and it's always really crazy to me because you're an independent creator, you're a 1 or 2 person crew, you're editing your little home studio. So the fact that anyone watches it feels kind of amazing. Even 14 years later, it's wild to me. So even coming to Jamaica, like the channel wasn't even really that big yet, but occasionally someone would stop me and say, yo, we love the channel. And I'm going, what? Are you serious? You've seen it? And then, yeah, seeing people actually come to the yard, to me, that was the coolest, most inspiring thing, that a video that I just made because it was fun. And, you know, I was trying to do a pilot and that kind of thing, but YouTube was sort of, okay, this failed, let's put it on YouTube. The fact that people were literally showing up, even if it was a tiny percentage, that it inspired someone to get off their butt and actually fly here. And some of those people that fly here make it to the yard. That was so crazy.
Well, especially that it's in St.Thomas. I mean, of all the parishes, you chose the one that is the furthest from the tourism areas.
So my experience in Jamaica was very, very different because the first 7 years I came to Jamaica, I was in Kingston, St. Thomas, Portland. I had no idea what the North Coast was like. I'd heard about it, but it wasn't until 2019, like 9 years later, that I made it to the North Coast, which is the more popular area for tourism, Mo Bay, Negril, Ochi.
And then you realized that the Jamaica you saw was not the kind of Jamaica other people saw.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but but to really know it and see what it was like. Whoa, Starbucks, and McDonald's, like, I'm going to the cook shop, man. Like,
we don't have McDonald's, come on.
Sorry,
Burger King.
KFC is what I was thinking.
KFC.
The KFC here is better than other places.
It is, right?
It is.
It is, right. Jamaica before coming here?
I didn't know that much. I mean, I'd heard it was a dangerous place, as the media likes to say. I knew it was beautiful. I knew all the stories from my cousins who loved coming here for years and years. And, you know, my cousin Richie grew up here and had all kinds of cool stories about it. I knew the music. But yeah, I guess I could say I didn't really know that much. You don't know a place till you visit it.
So wait a minute, you have some family in Jamaica?
I have Jamaican, half Jamaican, half American family in the US, yeah.
But you're not a Jamaican?
No, I'm not a Jamaican.
But your cousins are?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
My cousin Marcia, or my dad's cousin Marcia, married Richie when she was visiting Jamaica, I think in the 70s. And then he moved to USA, and they have 3 kids who are my second cousins.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I have this Jamaican family that we would always visit in the US.
What do you love most about Jamaica?
I don't know if it's just a one thing. It's really just a vibe of the whole place. It's the people, it's the music, it's the smell of the jerk chicken in the streets, it's the jaw-dropping moments every time we're after a rain or something and I'm flying the drone and it's all covered in mist and there's green parrots flying through the shot. It's just a surprise for me every time that I come here. And yeah, like I said, it's not really one thing. It really just has a certain energy here. That's why Jamaica is such a special place. You can't really understand until you come here, I think. I mean, the people, when you come to a place like this, are so friendly. Just went to that bar, walked in by myself at night, had a beer, chatting with the local guys, chatting with the owner. They said, hey, you can come and play music off your phone if you want to be the DJ for the night. I mean, this is the real Jamaica, where you can have these just regular interactions with people. If you hang out in the super tourist zones, it becomes much more hustly from what I hear. And I have experienced a little bit of that myself. So depending on where you go in Jamaica, you can have a very different experience. But I would say the majority of the island is this calm, chill area. We're not worried about getting thieved or anything like that. It's way, way, way more relaxed than people make it out to be. There are so many untouched places. You know, even going to a city like Morant Bay, you feel that small town energy. It's crazy how these small towns, if it was in Canada, would be the most quiet place ever. And then you go to a small town, Morant Bay, and it's just bustling with people and sound and markets and music and energy. It's just so crazy.
Well, it's small by Canadian standards, maybe not so small by Jamaican standards.
True.
It's the capital of St.Thomas.
Yeah. And it's really nice now. I've seen the positive changes on the island too, with the new road being built on the South Coast Highway.
Yeah, tell me.
I mean, that used to be a hell of a thing to travel from Kingston down to Port Antonio. It was ridiculous. And now they've moved mountains, made a whole new road. You can get from Kingston to Yallas in like 25 minutes.
I know.
There's still some sections that are rough, but compared to what I've been dealing with for the past 14 years, it is incredible. So I can't wait for people to discover St. Thomas.
The area known today as St. Thomas Parish played an important role in shaping Jamaican and British history. It was home to some of the largest sugar plantations and to a 19th century iron foundry where Jamaican innovation helped Britain rise during the Industrial Revolution. It was here that the Morant Bay Uprising ignited a major shift against colonial rule and planted the seeds of what would later become the Jamaican identity. But this also led to over a century of deliberate neglect by the colonial government. And even after independence, St. Thomas remained the most undeveloped and underfunded area of Jamaica, earning the name the Forgotten Parish. It is only now that St. Thomas is beginning to see a powerful revival with major new investments and the growth of community tourism finally bringing change. Sunning Hill Community is a peaceful and quiet area along the banks of the Plantain Garden River, a major river on the island that happens to be the only one that does not flow north or south, but goes eastward instead. It is in the valley of this river where we can find the home of the original star of the Ras Kitchen show, Mr. Solomon Jackson, better known as Rasta Mokko.
A video now, you know, so I don't fuck with, you know. I'm fuck with, you know. No ragamuffin thing no more. Hey, blessed.
So we just visited Rasta Mokko, just talking about life. We didn't film him. We'll try next weekend and see if he agrees to make a video with us. But guys, what a beautiful place. An absolutely gorgeous place. This beautiful river down there, these mountains, wonderful. To film this documentary, I had to do a lot of driving back and forth to St. Thomas and all the way to the north coast. Unfortunately, after 10 years in Jamaica, I still cannot afford to buy a decent car, so I have to rent one instead. And I'd like to give a shout out to my friends at UCALS Car Rental. I've been renting from them for years and they've been fantastic, so I think my audience can benefit too. This is a local company based in Montego Bay, so if you need to rent a car in Jamaica, UCALS is my little personal recommendation for you. And now back to the Rasta Mokko story.
Even before the Ras Kitchen show really brought a lot more notoriety and awareness. He was known all over the island. He had done many things in his life
everywhere.
Before, and lived at Winifred Beach for many years and interacted with everyone through that. And so even when we traveled to him in 2000, he was already kind of a star in a way in the local community, and he knows everybody and Wagwan, and was an amazing guide. To be able to take you all these different places and know where to go, where not to go, and who's who and what's what.
There are nice flowers in the jungle, man. It's a nice one in the jungle when you grow them, man.
It's so cool how you can tell the trees from so far away.
Now, should I be worried about dipping my toe in the water? Because are there crocodiles or alligators? Is that
No.
In Jamaica in general, though, is there anything? Okay.
Maybe
fish! Oh, fish! No. But they like these crazy birds here. What kind of bird is that? They look like a heron, kind of.
Garland.
Okay.
They eat a lot of jungle and fish.
Yeah.
They can weigh more half pound. About a quarter pound. Yeah. Hey, now make no picture. Me say look. You see picture? People don't understand. If I never have picture, I get fucked. Real, the picture go far away, and you don't know who gonna look and say this day. I see little guy named Kupi, and I see him on the video. He look cool. How can I contact him?
Yeah, it's promo.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna complain?
All right.
Yes.
So you were the one putting up the videos first.
Yeah.
So why did Matthew's channel blow up, but not yours?
Matthew did a lot better job. I just I just filmed something and put it up with basic editing. Where Matthew had an intro, he had an idea, he had logos, and it was very professional. Matthew's very professional.
Well, he's a filmmaker.
He's a filmmaker. It really worked out. And, you said people know Mokko. People know Mokko now a lot more because of these videos that Matthew did, because they're viral and there's a lot of them. So when Mokko travels around, people know him.
Oh, but it's only now after Matthew. But I thought people knew him even before Matthew started making videos.
Well, in Morant Bay and in Sunning Hill, where he lives, is it's a small community, and he's a big man. He's.
What about Portland? He had his cook stall or something like a shop on the beach.
And Winifred, yeah, he had that for years, and I didn't know him then. I met him just after, because they went from Winifred to Free Eye's place and remodeled it.
So first, in my shop there one morning, I see one white man come, say man look some property to buy. So anyway, that man hear me now, big up Pry, So Pry carry me and give me everything like I'm baby. Show me everything on the computer when everybody now show me nothing. So that man make me know a lot. Like a teacher teach me, man, a woman, but teach me. Like the woman teach me, but not like the man. Right. That man. Yeah, man, tell me everything. Yeah, man.
So, hi, I'm Free Eye, and we are situated in Manchester Harbor in Portland. And we are close to the river from Reach Falls, what enter out in front of our property. And Mokko is the one that bring me to this property before I bought it. Discovered the property, and Mokko was living with me here for 2.5 years. And he was my direct right man, the one that organized everything between community members and work members. So, good man. Great time. We always call that room still Mokko's room, because it was the first room that was finished, and then Mokko gonna live there at that time. There you have this crazy beautiful view to the ocean. So all the bamboo work inside outside is done by Great Mokko with another friend. So they did all of this, yeah.
20 years ago and it's still holding up that well. Across the whole kitchen, all that lattice work.
But it's nice to design things by yourself and can be a kind of free boy, call it, you know, and you do the things what is in your head, you do them. You don't need really permissions, you just build and have your thing finished, so yeah.
There are over 1,000 videos on YouTube that feature Rasta Mokko, and every part of his story has already been told multiple times by him and by others. However, since he had been the star of the Ras Kitchen show for many years, I felt it was fair to at least ask if he wanted to share his story again in this film or in a separate video dedicated to him and his new YouTube channel. I visited him twice and we spoke for several hours off camera each time. Rasta Mokko was very kind. He showed us around his farm, was very welcoming, but he did not want to do the interview on camera with me. He explained that since he now has his own channel, he wants all content with him to be published there. So feel free to check out his channel. It's called Rasta Mokko Cool Vibes and the link is in the description.
Boom. Alright, we're cruising.
Your very first video published on the channel was on the 15th of July 2011. But it's not like it went viral right away. From what I understand, for the entire, almost 7 years, you hardly had any views.
Yeah.
Yet you kept publishing.
Yeah, 7 years.
How did you survive? Like, because you were still, who was funding the project?
Me, it's all self-funded from the get-go. And during those 7 years, it wasn't like this was a full-time thing. It was, I tried to make a pitch package. It didn't work. That's why the first video comes up almost a year later on YouTube after I shot. It was also very overwhelming at the time because I'm dealing with tapes, trying to get the footage together, trying to organize, being kind of a not complete beginner, but it was very overwhelming to do a big project like that.
You worked before helping people with the video making?
That was
after
that time.
That was after.
I was a teacher, yeah, for a couple of years. That was after
that was
that
you
time.
had already done something.
Yeah, I mean, I had some experience, but I've never taken on something the scope of, well, first of all, it was like, let's make a good sizzle reel. Okay, well, that's 3 minutes. Well, making an entire channel and having content come out, I thought it was completely impossible. How could you possibly make more than a 10-minute video per month, let alone try to do something weekly? I thought this is never even gonna work. So yeah, that time, those 7 years was, I went to Jamaica 2010, things didn't work. I still thought it was cool. I had a good time. So I said, okay, let me try again. I think I tried again in 2014. I brought 2.
Oh, so you didn't come like in 2012?
Didn't come for a few years.
All right, but you still posted some of the videos.
I was posting videos from the first trip.
Oh, I see.
Because it's like, okay, well, I'm burning money. I'm not making anything. I'll just do this when I can. Okay, so you see videos sporadically come. Then 2014, I had 2 former students of mine. Same deal. I got no budget. Okay, I'll pay for their trip and they're gonna have a crazy time in Jamaica. And we'll try again. And
Where did you stay?
Stayed at Monko's Yard again. And then it still didn't work.
All right.
But I still thought it was cool and I had a good time. And he was starting to get business to his guest house because it had a little bit of views. So I'm like, well, it's at least benefiting him. I'm having a good time. It's interesting for these guys. And I still believe that despite what I was told by TV networks, no, people are interested in this. I swear they are.
What was the arrangement with Ras Mokko? What did you tell him?
Well, at the time, it was more just of an idea. Like, let's try and get a pilot together. So he said, hey, I'll come. I'll pay to stay in the yard. I'll pay for the food. I'll pay you as a guide. And, you know, we'll try and make something. And then I'm going to try to pitch it at home and try to get proper funding for it. That was the whole...
So basically, when you came, you paid him just for your stay, for your...
Yeah, and that became very interesting, too, because I realized that there was almost no concept of what was supposed to be charged for meals because he was getting assistance with that from the Birneys, who weren't there at the time. So there was a menu with prices and there was a list for guide fees.
Right.
But at the end of the trip, there was nothing monitored, nothing accounted for. And there was a lovely woman who was nicknamed Grandma who used to also help them. So my last day, I find myself at grandma's house, I think in license or something, and I'm just trying to tell her, okay, I had this meal here, I had this tea, I had this guide, and I'm basically just accounting for my trip because nothing was managed.
So it wasn't like you got and you paid each day.
It was quite a bit more complicated.
How was it making content with Ras Mokko? Was it fun?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. That's why for the first 7 years I would go back, because even if it wasn't succeeding, it was still a hilarious time. And yeah, really enjoyed that time period particularly.
The boat landed. Looks amazing. Bon appetit. Let's roll. Roll. Rolling. Koopy's going barefoot. He's making me feel like less of a man. That's how the tough guys do it.
What, man? Rabush, yeah, come.
Well, every time I ask you how you're doing when I'm calling you on the phone, you never complain about anything. The worst I've ever heard you say is, I'm living.
I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I'm breathing.
You never complain.
No.
Even when there's all kinds of fuckery that's been going on over the years.
Yes, sir.
I know, you never complain about it.
No, sir. No, sir.
Keep it blessed.
Yeah, man. I'm going to smoke a slip, I know, so try to keep it real, you know?
Yeah, man.
I'm Matthew. Real, man.
Yeah.
What's so special about Ras Mokko? What did you like most about him?
At that time, I mean, it was so unique to me. I was always interested about plants, about herb, about farming, just this kind of natural country lifestyle. I mean, I live in downtown Toronto, so to be completely out of my element with just a very unique guy. I mean, Mokko is a character. I think people can see that. Very funny, a lot of laughs. Even something as simple as we'd sit down and watch a movie as a family, and they like horror movies for some reason, and I can't usually stand them, but there was this one kind of horror / comedy movie called Army of Darkness that we would watch every time I would go, and it became to the point where everyone in the family knew every single line in this movie. So it was one of the funniest things. It's like every time I go back to Jamaica, sit down with the family, grab a spliff, get a red stripe, watch Army of Darkness. Everyone's yelling out the lines. There's this one line where it's like, yo, she bitch. And like everyone in the family knew that line for whatever reason. So it was just that good energy of just hanging with friends. That's why I kept going back. Well,
they were like family.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was like. I mean, I knew Ratty since he was born.
Well, Ratty would hang out with you all the time in the videos.
None of this stuff is planned, like, hey, we're gonna do a Ratty video today. It's just, we're doing stuff, and then he'd come along, or he'd be down to go on a hike, or, you know, maybe some of the videos like where he's showing off his farm, I'd say, hey, Ratty, can I do a video about you showing off your little farm around the yard? But all the other ones was just he was there, you know, like we're hiking and then here comes Ratty. Okay, so that's what I mean about authenticity. I wasn't planning stuff or lining stuff up. There might be a little ideas and hey, I want to go check out this place, but everything else about who was coming along, who wasn't, that was all just kind of natural.
Oh yeah, you want to play this game? All right, take it away. Go dry it. Go dry it. Go dry it. Good man. Move up.
I'm rubbing on it.
You want to blow bubbles? Okay. I did buy some bubbles. Big bubbles from dollar store that I promised Ratty we were gonna.
I'm a Radical Bubble Store.
Yo! I don't know if you're supposed to jump in with me, but oh well.
Did you like travel together around Jamaica sometimes? I saw you were
Yeah, absolutely. There's a time when I got hired to shoot video for a company that was involved with foreign workers in Canada who worked on farms, and I had to travel all around Jamaica and shoot interviews with these farmers who are now back in Jamaica after working. And I had a budget as a producer to hire a driver, to hire an assistant. Now, there wasn't a budget to have a Rasta man come hang out with you the whole time, but I'm like, I'm gonna put it in the budget. Mokko, you wanna come shoot all these interviews all around Jamaica with me? So Mokko was just there on the trip. Yeah, we did a ton of that
I saw
stuff.
some of the videos from Montego Bay. Actually, you went to some all-inclusive resorts.
I had some friends visiting.
What was happening there?
Yeah, I just had friends that were in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna just go visit them for the day, who even remembers?
You were in Secrets Resort in Montego Bay.
Yeah, okay, that was the name of it. So I had a good friend of mine was visiting with his wife and some of their friends. Originally, I was just gonna go up by myself, and then I thought, well, Mokko would probably have fun coming up, even though we're not doing anything particular about him. So yeah, we just rolled up together. We stayed in some hotel and meet my friends too, which was pretty cool at the time.
Yeah. And you can. Oh! Damn!
Yeah. Shot! Humpty Dumpty over here. No fuckery, no fuckery.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like Riverside.
Riverside Gym.
Yeah, Riverside Gym. My friend, my best friend there, Matthew. And give Matthew that. Back over.
That's pretty heavy. Oh my god, dude.
No.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I don't know weight, but that's pretty heavy for me.
How good exercise, man.
Yeah.
How did he do?
Not too bad. Watch.
You get to watch and look nice and saying fucking nice. You send out the sweet? Yeah, man. Ready?
Ready.
Ready? Go!
Turns out I got time.
Are you sure you're gonna walk with no shoes on?
Yeah. Spent a lot of time in Jamaica.
Yeah, right, I know, right? We're walking like that.
Training.
This is a nice place.
This is the nicest place I've ever stayed in Jamaica. I think I have to say it's very different from my usual budget accommodations or staying at friends. Or this was hooked up by Karen. So shout out Karen. This is Ocean Dreams Villa. We're here, Silver Sands, Duncan Bay, just, I don't know, 40 minutes outside of Mo Bay. And yeah, I mean, the property is just absolutely insane. So I have it all to myself right now, which is crazy. There's like 3 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, there's an outdoor shower, there's a chill area here, you got the beach right here, you got a bar called Leroy's Bar just over here, which is a really authentic place to get a drink. You got a friendly little kitty here.
Hello.
I don't know her name, she doesn't belong to the house, but she's super friendly and she always tries to sneak in and guests are too nice to her. And yesterday you caught a big rat and we're eating the face off of it, so she's a little badass too.
I hope not in the house.
Not in the house.
Not in just underline.
Yeah, she's not allowed in the house, but she's very friendly.
Yes.
So thank you for being part of this tour. We'll put you down now. And yeah, just the beach is right over here. So
this is insane.
So
this place
thank you,
is
Karen, so
beautiful.
much.
Look at that. This place is so, look, it's gorgeous. I mean, the design here, and it's just so quiet, and it's just so cozy, and it's right by the sea, like literally a less than, I don't know, 30-second walk to the sea, and it's a proper sand beach. Man, this is so good. I would imagine it's not the cheapest place.
I don't know. I got a perk.
Oh,
so one of the perks of being a YouTuber, sometimes you get free accoms, sometimes you get free meals. In exchange, again, it's people helping each other. And well, I mean, I pay for plenty of places too. It just depends on the situation. And the fair agreement is whatever both parties come to. So if someone's gonna offer, you know, I can, happy to accept.
For many years, Rasta Mokko has been renting out rooms to visitors at his place, which was originally known as Riverside Cool Cottages, and today it can still be booked on Airbnb under the new name Mokko's Rasta Retreat. So the reason you started a website, Worlds Together Travel, was it like after you met Mokko and because of helping him out?
Yeah, and it's all Dianne. My wife, Dianne, wanted to help Mokko. And then it did help. It brought some people in and it got more people interested.
But Mokko already had his little huts in there, or he didn't?
No, he had a small compound. And he lived there and his family lived outside of it in a pretty small building. And the government had at one point come and put a little frame up for his wife, for Dorette. And it was never got finished. So my wife and I, we bought the wood to finish that and let the kids move into that, which was a lot nicer.
But he already rented out his homes there, or he didn't?
Oh, that was kind of Diane's idea. Free Eye is pretty good bed and breakfast there, Zion Country. And he also has dinners. And that helped Mokko too, because he's a good Ital cook. So when he got people coming in and then ordering dinners, I think it really helped him. Slowly it kind of went, up until when Matthew found it, it took off.
Originally, people were booking through the Worlds Together Travel, but because it wasn't the best option and not the easiest way to pay, when Airbnb came out, that's when I was sort of involved in shooting, and I said, you know what, things are going to work way better if it's on a trusted website. It's relatively new. I don't remember how new it was at the time.
Yeah.
But people can pay with a credit card. The money's there. It's going to get paid, and it's not going to end up like I did my first trip, like in some random place with someone I don't know trying to figure out what I should owe, and then the host not really even telling me what the rate is. I started the Airbnb. So originally that place was called Riverside Cool Cabins.
You started the page on Airbnb for that?
The Airbnb, yeah. As far as I don't think anyone did anything before.
Okay. Because when I wanted to book it, I think it's 2016 or something, it already had quite a few reviews and it was already there. A lot of positive comments and everything. And so you were replying to them?
Yeah, I was doing everything for that Airbnb.
So did you put the photos and the description?
I took all the photos, I wrote everything. I had to manage it because, as you probably know, in Jamaica, it's not so easy to necessarily connect a Jamaican bank account to these US websites. Now, I don't know exactly how it is. I think things haven't improved.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But at that time, it was very difficult to do, and it wasn't even an option. And trying to get all that sorted out. So the easiest way and only way at the time to do it was, okay, I'm connected to mine, and then I just send everything every month, and then at least it's working.
How did you send it then?
So there's a website called World Remit.
Yeah.
That is for foreign remittances. So I would literally send money.
Oh.
Someone would go physically pick it up down in Morant Bay, and then take that to the bank and then put it in the bank.
I see.
Back then, yeah.
All right. So, but you managed the Airbnb
I was doing everything. So on
top of how much were you paid for that?
Nothing.
Oh.
I was just doing it to help. I thought this was part of it. Like we get a successful channel going, they can have something that can sustain themselves. It's not like just giving someone something, it's like helping them create a business that can really keep running whether I'm there or not. Now at the time I had to run it, so anyone asking questions and then dealing with all the problems, like some guy doesn't know where he's going and then all of a sudden they have him in security at the airport being held back because he can't provide the address for the place.
Oh, yeah.
And the place doesn't have an address because it's in St. Thomas and it's a village.
How did it work before without the Airbnb though? They somehow arranged it before, right?
Same thing, like phoning, telling them,
so it was
hey,
the same pain.
You guys get the driver. Extremely complicated, yeah.
I see. As I understand, the channel was pushing quite a lot of people to Mokko's yard, and so it got to the point that you were like really fully booked, or?
I wouldn't say it was fully booked, but you were getting some people way more than before. So rather than one every couple months, it would be like a few a month or 5 or 6 a month, or maybe 2 cabins are booked at one time. It started getting really busy. And then I'm traveling too and trying to live my life and do my other day job and do the channel. And then I'm running this Airbnb. And then as the channel grew, everything just magnifies, right? And then it's getting so crazy. I'm trying to travel to Indonesia or something and I can't respond to someone who's being held by security at the airport or rare. So eventually I was able to find volunteers through the channel, and I ran through a few different co-hosts because people are only willing to work for free for so long. It also depends on how much respect they're being treated with.
Right.
So some lasted a little longer, some didn't last at all.
welcome to Ras Kitchen, new kitchen, you know. Give thanks that all the people who all sponsor me.
Yeah, big up everybody.
Big up everybody from every Caribbean. All who that give me for this sponsor. Yeah, man.
So the gate looks the same.
Yeah.
The zinc looks the same.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any building here last time I was here.
No.
Because that was just open before. You had a roof on it, but that was it. Now it's a full-on structure.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's
we just standing on the whole ground before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Blessed love to all the people who watching this DVD as Ras New Kitchen now. Cause the first is just the whole ground. I stand on. But no, I stand on concrete and I feel happy now. Yeah, this is the yard. And the house just over here. A big room, double bedroom over there.
Big room, double bed. You got 2 windows that open like that. And then the rest of the family's places are over here. And this is your little house, but you're talking about building a new house for yourself, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah, the new house is great. It's a 3-bedroom, right?
Yeah.
3 rooms. All right, this is the movie room. In progress, just getting cleaned up.
Yes, sir.
Ninja Assassin, African movies, American movies. Whoa!
You want to watch movie? Come by Ras if you like movie. We can watch it every night, drink ganja tea if you want.
And then this is the new TV?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, man. We don't go to school all the time because we have no money with father and we get fucked up, get sick, you know. And the worst thing again, poor, you know, man. Want to go to school, we have no money, Matthew. And one morning, my mother come call me up, you know, you're gonna be nice. You gonna be one of the wealthiest ones. First, I say, Mama, what you mean? You have to deal with the opposite people, you know. I ask him again, what you mean, Mama, with the opposite people, Mama? The opposite, the one who can help you, and you're gonna lucky. This is it.
This is it, man.
This is it, and tell me, man. And tell you all of the rest of them in the yard, brother.
Yeah. How has the place changed now coming back? I guess you're here, you said about 15 years ago, but...
Yeah, it hasn't been for 15 years, and it's obviously changed a lot. He's done a lot of development, and through the help and contributions of people from all over the world, big up everybody for anyone who contributes to Mokko in any way. A lot of the changes are more subtle, maybe. And so he's still here, he's Mokko, you know. And the huge addition, just about almost 1 year anniversary of the new van. So that's one big major change, is like that through the some of you listening right now, crowdfunding that you guys did to help in that process to provide now a great service for everyone who comes.
A real proud moment when I saw that video. I wasn't in Jamaica, but Backpacking Simon was around at the time, and he generously gave us the video to post too, so big up to Simon.
Check it out, guys. Mokko finally buy a car. You're happy?
Yeah, man.
Just made it back to Mokko's yard. Car is parked up the road.
Up the road. Finally, Rasta Kitchen make it, man. Yeah, man.
When was the time when you hit like 10K?
It took 7 years, yeah. So I started the channel 2010, and I was in Indonesia in 20...
Was it 16?
2016.
17.
Yeah, maybe 2017.
Okay, 2nd of August 2017, you had 63K.
Okay, so it's 2016. So I was moving to New Zealand in 2015. And I knew I was going to be gone for a year, at least, maybe longer, maybe life. And I didn't know if I was coming back to Jamaica. So before I moved to New Zealand, I said, you know what? If I haven't smashed my head against the wall enough with no results, let me smash my head one more time. And I went to Jamaica, and so I had at least some content during that year I was in New Zealand. So yeah, I was living in a van in New Zealand due to some other personal things that happened, and editing from like random cafes in the van. And I think around then is when I got to around 10,000K subs, maybe?
Geez, 7 years. Man,
Yeah.
it took me 2 months to get to 10,000K, so let me
Damn.
brag.
Damn.
No, but you know why? Because I started my channel in 2020 during COVID. At that time, the audience on YouTube was already there.
Yeah.
When you started, there had been no, there was hardly any audience on YouTube too. So it was way more difficult to break through, you
Yeah,
know?
not comparatively, and also the thing that I realized when I finally got the channel to start to work was the magic bullet seemed at that time was consistency. And I had never been consistent. So I had ended up, long story, moved back from New Zealand, was doing my old job again, ended up in Indonesia for the winter, and I still had footage. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna post every week, no matter what. I'm gonna reply to every comment. I'm gonna be super engaged, and I'm gonna treat this like a job, even though this is year 7 about a job that I don't get paid for. Let me just try one more time, and if it doesn't work this time, then I'm done, and I tried it, and I'm gonna do the next idea on my list of 100 things. But after a couple months in Indo, it started to kind of tick up a little bit.
Okay.
So 7 years to 10K, but then it might have only been another month before the 20K, and like I saw the ramp kind of starting.
All right.
So
what was the first video that went viral? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
So you don't have one particular video that went viral and it just...
I wouldn't call it viral, but I think maybe the one that started getting more views was called maybe the scrambled eggs episode. And I gotta thank my friend Patrick. He's an artist, friend of mine, and I think I used to just have the video called Scrambled Eggs. I didn't know anything about analytics or naming things cool or thumbnail. And Patrick's going, yo, Maddie, you gotta make it a cooler title. Like, it's just called Scrambled Eggs. So that's when I just put Scrambled Eggs bracket Rasta style. And that seemed to have
an effect.
An effect. So
All right.
my first experience with, what do you call it? I don't even know the name, analytics or
YouTube analytics.
algorithmic type massaging.
Were you monetized at that time already? But the channel wasn't monetized.
I don't think I monetized it until...
Because the channel could get monetized when you had 1,000 subscribers. So by that time you had already...
Yeah, but you know what? I had a weird feeling about it. It was like, oh, I don't want people to like click away because there's ads. So I think I even got to my first 1 million views and I had nothing monetized.
So you got to 100K only around 2018 or so.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Like, man, that's crazy. That's 8 years to get to 100K. And now you're at 750. So how did that happen? How did this expansion happen so suddenly?
I think partially it's timing. Get lucky. You know, you have to get kind of lucky, I think, no matter whether your stuff's good or not. I'd improved a lot with the content. So I figured out how to make good hooks at the beginning of the video. I feel like my videography skills had improved. I had 7 years of sucking to get there. So there you go. It coincided kind of with the pandemic. I had just been to Jamaica, January 2020. There was already kind of a base of the channel, which helps. I'd done some cool collaborations like with Mark Wiens, one of the biggest food vloggers in the world. And then pandemic hit and then everyone was at home and then I had all this video to edit. So I think, like you said, 2020 is when so many channels popped up. We were one of the few channels based in Jamaica, or at least with that kind of content. And then in 2020, it was like, oh, look, everyone in Jamaica has a YouTube channel.
Well, I started one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And nothing against that. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just saying before
there was hardly anything.
No one was interested in doing this.
It's true.
Yeah, like I literally have a decade more in the game than most channels.
Ja Mann Leute, ich bin endlich in Jamaika, hier wollte ich schon immer mal hin und ich werde jetzt gleich von meinem Couchsurfing-Host abgeholt. Geil! Wir schauen uns nämlich Jamaika richtig schön auf dem traditionellen einheimischen Weg an. Nice! And welcome to my first English video after more than 3.5 years of making videos on YouTube. You're gonna see soon where I'm going. Oh, I'm so excited to show you. There he is, Mokko, the famous Jamaican chef. He has a YouTube channel as well. Ras Kitchen, the channel is called. Yeah, he makes cooking videos. It's very funny to watch. I've been watching this channel since 3 years already now, so that was also the reason, kind of the reason why I came to Jamaica, because I wanted to see him. Yeah, man. And yeah, I'm gonna stay here for a long time, so it's gonna be fun. We're gonna...
man, respect, man. Bless up.
Yeah, man.
There is one situation I'd like to mention with Simon. Tell me what happened.
So one of the first people, maybe not one of the exact first, but yeah, one of the first people was backpacking Simon. He originally approached me and said, oh, I want to do a video about Ras Kitchen. I said, yeah, that's cool, of course. But then when I was seeing it come out on YouTube, it was like many videos. And then he was talking about, hey, everyone get me and Mokko to travel, and that sort of pissed me off. So it was kind of an experiment. I actually put out a video, and it was not a positive video about Simon, and he got a lot of hate right away, and I also got some hate right away, and you know, it was very different from the usual brand of the channel, which is positive vibes. So after that video and the reaction, I spoke with him and got in touch, and we were able to talk it out man to man, and I explained why I was upset, and he understood, and I've never actually met him in person, but we've been pretty good friends online, especially talking about doing YouTube in Jamaica and traveling, and he's an awesome guy, so I big him up now. But at the original part of it, it was sort of like one thing was mentioned to me and then it came about in a different way, but we've since crushed that beef, I mean, days after that happened, or maybe even the next day, and yeah, I still talk to him pretty regularly.
He was trying to copy your style, man.
I mean...
It was like literally shooting in your style.
I mean, I suppose the lesson for me is if someone's trying to copy your style, take it as a compliment. Okay. I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. And then I was really happy with what he did because I thought it was really cool because he went and found someone different and helped them build their business and did a different thing with his own twist on it. It might have been similar, but I think creatively he did a really cool job and did a really great thing with the Freelance Chucky channel. And again, it's a shame how that one ended up too, but I have a lot of respect for Simon, and you know, he was young at the time too, so he's learning these things about how to act as a creator, and maybe he didn't quite fully understand that I felt like he was really stepping on my toes, but we were able to move on beyond that, and that's what you should do when you have a conflict. Don't do what I did or what a lot of other people do, is just put out a video with your hate and complaining. Talk to the person, you know, squash the beef, figure it out. And that's the adult and the mature way to do things.
Millions of people were captivated by Ras Kitchen videos, and many of them couldn't even understand why. They kept watching with a smile thinking, great vibes. But the truth is, the Ras Kitchen show with Rasta Mokko was quite exceptional on a lot of different levels that took it beyond just good vibes. You see, most reality shows are not actually real. Many use actors and are often staged. But even when real people are involved, the scenes are usually scripted, because without shaping a storyline, real life can be pretty boring. So the first thing that makes Ras Kitchen so special is that it's not even partially scripted, and yet still engaging.
Rough, I'll carry this.
Matthew captured real life as it unfolded and then managed to put it into these stories with plot twists and action, often building tension and payoffs on the fly.
Let me try it.
No.
Just for a minute.
No. I don't want the guy.
Remember how you didn't even want me to carry the machete and now
carry the machete. Go
on.
on.
My arm's still on. My leg's still on.
Go on.
Let me try.
No.
Come on.
This is not just about editing. It's writing a story in a visual format without a script. So the entire show is a mastery of improvisation.
I can see the porridge vibes now.
Yeah, live and direct, man. Alright, is that I look now?
Yeah.
You soon to explode, brother.
Explode? Should I stand back?
Stand back, stay back. Boom!
Should I get my Do I need to get my glasses on? Safety glasses.
Basic glass.
Rasta Mokko is unique. Even within the Rastafari community in Jamaica, hardly any people live like him.
Very cool. Like a height.
It's his knowledge of plants and life experience, his skills as a professional chef, and of course it's his incredible charisma, the way he looks and talks, and his talent for coming up with these edgy lines, often very funny and witty.
All of this is a wish.
Ah.
But wish, they just vine, they just grow. I'm going to that bush now and cut this. You see, a whole lot of stuff come out there, you know. White milk, that's why they call it cocky waist. Or penis waist.
Penis waist?
Cocky.
Oh, dude.
But more importantly, it's the synergy with Matthew. The interaction between two cultures is the key element that made Ras Kitchen so compelling.
Wow.
Looks like an alien.
Yeah.
Sea monster.
Be ever said pepper pot too. How much money you're staying in Ivan?
I lived in the van for 4 months.
Oh.
I told you all about it. My queen size bed in the back.
Yeah.
Living at the surf break, working in the town.
Then when you want shit, where you go? How it work?
Try to camp somewhere where
there's
somewhere I could go.
You pull over somewhere where you.
Yeah. And like I was telling you, the lifestyle is so great. If you're tired, here's my bed right here.
You feel like you could do it right now? Same way?
Yeah, I'd do it again.
And then on top of that, we get the vibes.
No bones, nothing. But me, I'm gonna put in there to get some flavor, you know?
Okay.
Create this totally hypnotic atmosphere when the audience is not just watching a video but feeling it as their own experience. It requires genuine passion, and that's something that cannot be learned or purchased. And that is the difference between a filmmaker passionate about his project and just a random guy on a yard with a good camera making YouTube vlogs. At the heart of Ras Kitchen show is the music, and Matthew is a professional DJ. Look, I put a lot of effort into music for my channel. The songs I choose are never random, but it's nothing compared to what Matthew did with Ras Kitchen, particularly in the earlier episodes. The extent to which he went with finding the right music is just beyond what can be expected from a YouTube video. He also worked with a lot of independent artists creating custom music for the show. And I'd like to introduce you to one of them who was very kind to contribute some of his music for this film and also agreed to give a short interview.
Thank you so much for joining.
Greetings for having the IRIE, Blessed Love Empress. Sure, the IRIE is known as Rasta Amerlock. I am an international U.S. statesman Rasta. Study musics, long time. Been a part of Jah Works for the time Jah's allotted me, some decades and some days, if you will. But what I do is I make music with the basis of the Roots Foundation of Jamaica, focus on JA and the international effects that Jamaica has given to the globe now, in the past, and in the future. So I perform, I produce, I consult, but I'm also in school for anthropology as well. So
how did you discover Ras Kitchen?
well, Ras Kitchen, again, because Jah is so mighty. Jah just had him link me up one day. I checked in my email in the same way that I linked with the eye, and a blessing was right there. And the brethren said, would you be interested in being a part of this channel? And I'd already watched this channel just through YouTube and the algorithm of things, or perhaps Jah just guiding the eye towards the future. But then we linked up, and he's a wonderful person in AKA reality, apart from the video things. But also you can see that he is truly who he is in his videos, just a kind, just gentleman, if you will.
Yeah, it's true. It's been my experience as well. But tell me, when did your journey with music start?
You know, I was a classical musician at 4. So I did violin for about almost 20 years. And within that time, the call of Rastafari music, not to take away from any other music, because music is music, but I just felt the rub-a-dub, felt the foundation, felt the message, felt the call to bring forward harmony on this earth. So,
see, are you Rastafari?
I am definitely Rastafari. Well, you know, I started out in the church back when I was a youth, and for me, Jah has always been there. But as far as picking up the lock upon my head, age 14.
Do you have any relationship to Jamaica?
Well, my grandparents come forward from the island, but that's why I go by Ras Amerlock, because when I speak French as another language as well, and people are like, no, you can't be from America. What's the deal? And so Amerlock is a term from back in the day for Americans such as Josephine Baker and Cab Calloway, some of the people who would escape some of the challenges in America in the past and now the present, but nonetheless, they would be called Amerlocks, and with a QUE. So I'm connected to Jam Down like that, and I visit several times. You know, I'm never far. My sisters, I have nephews and nieces from Yard.
So you started working with Ras Kitchen pretty early in the day. So when the show was like in second season or something only, and that's when I already heard some of your songs, and it was like, whoa.
Well, I'm a fan of the channel, and I'm a fan of progressiveness, such as what you do. You enlighten people, you inform people, and Matthew was bringing attention, and he still does, to the Caribbean, to people, to perhaps some foods that they may or may not be familiar with. And in that sense, it was something that seemed a blessing to be a part of. So it was a no thought thing. I just had to go forward.
Okay. Are you still in touch?
Definitely. Anytime I do things, he's usually right there to send a post, let me know, when I'm in Canada, he'll be there. Just a supportive individual. I mean, he's really, and I'm sure you've seen this yourself, he's really a blessing of a person, and his goal is to really big up other people as well as himself. He's not just glad to reap the success, but his success is our success.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I really deeply value Ras Kitchen. Matthew always bigs up other people who wherever he goes, right? But I find that music is a part of the story. Music is like blended in. It's not just like background music or something.
You know, the whole message behind the music is so spiritual. The depth of it all is, my grandfather is from the Hebrides of Scotland, and I have Jamaican roots with that blend right there. He's Jamaican and Scottish. So I had created a song with the spirit of all the Celtic people who'd been sent into the islands and had become one with the multitudes of I people there. So the song was all about that journey. So it was about Scotland and Jamaica and the unity. And then again, another blessing from Jah, a brethren from just MySpace days was like, I really feel this song. And he was from Scotland, and it just seemed like it was a perfect tie. So the divine composer, Jah, if you will, put that together into a song. And then a few years later, Matthew heard it and was like, this is really fitting for what I'd like to do. Could I use this song? So that song was chosen. But then the future songs we did, he'd be like, I'd like to put something in the show. And having seen his journeys to the different waterfalls and seen the youth Ratty and seen Mokko, then we put something together based on some of the traditional yard rhythm vibrations and built
see.
upon that.
So the first song you all were talking about, which song was it?
Let's fix up your vibe.
Oh, that one was the first one?
To the best of my recollection, that was the first one that we reached upon.
Interesting. Because that was specifically the song that I wrote you about.
Dean, I give thanks. And I mean, that's why, as a spiritual being, I really just give the Most High of my overstanding and understanding the grace and the glory. Because it's a blessing to be with you here right now.
What would you like to tell the Ras Kitchen fans?
Ras Kitchen fans, I just want to say big ups yourselves and much love to each and every one of you who've been viewing a man doing what one could consider the study of a people that have been underrepresented in the mainstream in so many ways. And even to some of the people who may have overstood many things in Jamaica, it's a pleasure and a delight to see you listening, viewing, and seeing what Brother Matthew has put together in an ethnography of Jamaica. So I want to say thank you for being you, and I hope you will keep watching and also make the trip to the destinations that Ras Kitchen and Irina are showing you to see for yourself, because pictures tell 1,000 words, but the visual will tell you like it fully is.
What's up?
Good night, sir.
How are you?
What, my boy?
A little late, you know, but I made it.
Okay, my boy.
All right, so.
Always
Hey, buddy. Oh, hey. Wow. What a welcome.
Your friend, where your friend?
No friend.
You're not coming, no friend?
Not today.
Okay.
Hey, Rat.
Want to drive me rental?
Yeah, man. Rental car.
So why no good news?
Surfboard.
Surfboard, you carry it? This is your rough, you can't surf.
Yeah.
You see rough out there, I know.
It's good.
No. Put my feet come down.
Oh, yeah? Oh, good. I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
No, if me go all foreign, me wear the real shoes, because girl I go look down by me foot and say, no, I can't buy your shoes. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry for you so much. Come go in that place, go buy your shoes. And every one of them me do the fuck with. Never got a good shoes. Oh, you can't go to me like that.
Maybe when we go to the bay today, someone's going to see my shoes and go, oh, poor Matthew, poor guy, let me buy you some new shoes.
No, I'm going to say that to you, because I wear these class.
Hey, but maybe.
Maybe they know.
They say to we.
Maybe with the shoes, they might go say, oh, that man no want him foot hot, you know, and then keep your foot cool too, you know. So most of the time, already, you know, me play like me stupid man. That color man in the deer asked me, you, Rasta. Don't you know about channels? Look and say, maybe. What the fuck you ask me? Say, oh, Mokko have a channel. Oh, Mokko have a channel. Me say, I you know, perhaps. But I know what's going on. I you know, maybe. I don't know.
You just like getting people off the trail. Like, people are always asking you questions like, hey, where do you live? Portland.
Portland.
You
A dangerous man. A dangerous Rasta man.
I've seen you say that to so many people. Oh, where are you from? Portland.
Portland.
Yeah. You know, but you know, fair enough. You don't want everyone knowing all your business.
Oh, past couple of years, fucking woman attack, fuck with this, that. Oh, I could say bad mind people get crushed. And what them I go do now? Bad mind people get crushed. What you get crushed?
Badmind get crushed. Susu get crushed. You can't penetrate in a tenement yard. Too much watch it, too much susu.
Oh man, that was gold. That was gold.
Man, that one they wicked.
Oh dear, here comes the rain. Just like it has been going all day.
Charlie's house, before me make my house, I start by about every time I buy them and put them down and take out the receipt. Oh, yo man, it's gonna come back. Yo, it's gonna come back.
Now you got a good looking house right here. It's a beautiful house.
Where you sleep? You know, we don't want to know me sleep. Me have so much house, don't ask it, right? Got so much house I can sleep anywhere. My yard. So much option, you know. So I got a lot of room. Anyway, you want to sleep. Anybody gets them want to sleep. Got them room to sleep, man.
How many times have you seen us two walk up this road? And it wasn't a road.
No.
It was a path.
It's like a track.
Yeah, a little track. And now it is full on. You paid for all this concrete?
Yeah, man, I mean alone.
Oh my God.
Blood clot, man.
That's a lot of concrete.
Concrete, brother.
All the way to the top. You built a whole road in the village.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and how long did it take them to pave it up?
Yeah, we started trying on me or something like that. You know,
Wow.
me a business, you know. Started sometime.
That must have been a lot of guys working too.
Yeah, man, man, there you fuck, man. I make pay every one of them, you know, mother. Yeah, man, come here alone can't do this.
No.
Tell people then have noise people. Instead of him to put the wire back there, so him to put the wire. And put it at front. You shouldn't put all the wire. You shouldn't put it out here. You shouldn't put them inside.
Oh, instead of, yeah. So you got more space.
And start putting the wire and I make it create my bus.
Yeah.
Because when I see them down, if you put it inside, it's more pleasable to Mokko. It wouldn't be a problem once you put it inside. So you put it inside, you go and put it there. And jam it right where you stick there. Mokko bus won't give you no problem. But every time Mokko come, Mokko have a pulley. Mokko have a pull it up and all and sitting there, brother.
Nice and sharp. One's here. A little more tension. I don't know, the hook points are good, but if it's not razor sharp. Yeah. Damn, dude.
One day, a random content creator puts up a video where Rasta Mokko claims that Matthew is not paying him anything for his work with the show. And this starts a Jamaican YouTube drama that spirals out of control.
I personally saw this coming.
Mokko is a brand by himself.
As somebody see it and get jealous.
All Matthew did was hold up a camera and edit it. That's not very difficult.
The Rasta man is not as intellectually inclined, whereas with digital content.
Somebody have to talk for him. It doesn't matter if he's stupid or if he's old or whatever the story is. The man is bullied, the man is intimidated.
Yo, Mokko is a grown-ass man, yo. Me can't tell it, Mokko not afraid of nobody. Nobody can intimidate Mokko.
How are these people being compensated for all this content? Content is the new gold.
You missed it, Matthew. Wait, it's not on.
It's on.
No, the red light.
The audience gets split. Team Mokko versus Team Matthew, and there come at least 20 content creators trying to capitalize off this topic, reposting each other's videos and bringing their own claims, assumptions and accusations. Some against Rasta Mokko, but mostly against Matthew.
A Canadian man has infiltrated our barn land and tried to steal.
Did Matthew exploited Ras Mokko? Of course he did.
This is the definition of cultural appropriation. You can be a European man and own the biggest Rasta channel out of Jamaica.
People come to Jamaica and exploit us.
Matthew take the GoFundMe money
None of you do nothing at all for black people because you love them. You're users, so all of you.
And then they begin attacking each other, blaming for starting the drama and exploiting it for the views, while doing exactly the same.
Mokko asked me personally to put up this for him. So why now? I am the problem.
And remember them are ladies, you know, so them probably rub Mokko like Matt can never rub Mokko.
This Rastaman has the audacity to say all these negative things.
Oh yeah, me I try look views and likes and click. Everybody par YouTube. I look views and likes and clicks. Why you think we do it?
You have to try to get in touch with Babsy Grange. So as she is supposed to give you advice because this guy coming here stealing our culture. Report it. Summons him in a Jamaican court.
It was just terrible. Most of those videos were gaining so many views, and as a YouTuber myself, I was looking at it thinking, whoa, I want to capitalize on that too. So I sent an email to Matthew asking for an interview, and he replied and said no. So I published nothing and missed the opportunity of all those juicy views when it was still relevant. But hey, all YouTubers do content just for the views, right? How did the drama start?
I mean, there's always some drama, even when things weren't even really going. Before this big blow up last year, there was definitely plenty of smaller ones, which I was able to work through and explain, or had people assist and say, hey, that's not how it is. Even something with the Airbnb, someone telling them like, oh, he's not paying you all the money. And it's like, well, yes, I am. Here it is every month. Look at this number. But if you don't understand the numbers, then you don't really know who to believe.
Did you watch the interview Mokko did in 2021 with one of the YouTubers? This is like 1.5 hour interview.
There's no way I would have watched it. I've seen little bits of it.
Yeah, but the little bits are inaccurate because they're edited out. But if you watch the entire interview, Ras Mokko was very upset that you were making videos like with some other people and the channel was not really about him anymore.
Oh, yeah?
And that's why he wanted to have his own channel.
Oh, okay.
Because he assumed that Ras Kitchen was a channel about him, and it was centered around him, and then suddenly it turned out, he didn't realize, but it turned out that you had a lot of videos that did not feature him, which, fair enough, obviously, because you were making this entire show. But he didn't realize that, apparently. Did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, now that you bring it up, I kind of remember that being a thing.
Yeah, he thought it was his channel. You were running a channel for him, basically. You were his YouTuber who was making a channel for him, and was he paying you?
Oh, yeah.
No, but
wait, hold on, pay me?
Yes.
No.
No, for your work.
No, not for my work.
No. So this is the thing. People don't understand how film production works.
Yeah. But yeah, during that situation was very funny because this person came to the yard, did some super long interview, put up these very crazy accusations which were not correct. Like, I think even at that time, it was like the channel was done and he's doing a new one.
Ras Mokko said, he said, Ras Kitchen no more. I'm doing my own, quoting him. Like, I'm making my own channel.
I thought it was a great idea, yeah. Why not start your own channel also? That's fantastic. Why not have your own personal channel and do this channel, and you can help each other grow. It's like such a great thing. The rising tide lifts all ships, right? Share audience and big each other up and keep the vibe together. It's like, success is not a zero-sum game. If someone's winning, it doesn't mean you're losing. And even when this drama came, like I talked to him before and then talked to him after and said, okay, are you done? And then it was like totally different. No, it's not done. There's been so much random, complete, made-up fuckery that I just kind of tune it out. You know, I just...
Yeah, well, that's your problem. You were not dealing with the drama.
Well, no, because if you want drama, you can have drama every day of the week. So the best way to deal with drama is to like ignore it or delete it, like hater comments. You just focus on what you're doing. You don't have to get caught up in every single ridiculous claim that comes out.
Yeah.
So I put up that video to say, because I spoke with him after, and it was able to say, whoever's telling you this is not correct. Look at your transfer this day or whatever. Like, some way to solve it. You know, people in Jamaica understand the concept of Badmind, and people get jealous and start saying stuff that can be completely fabricated, and I think that's the original seed of it.
I've seen so many people using your content on their channels. They like literally take your videos, re-upload them, and add a couple of minutes before and after, and there you have it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on? Why are people stealing your videos? Do you even like do something about it?
I used to, but you can get caught in a trap of just chasing people down instead of creating. And after dealing with this hater type thing for a long time, you kind of just accept that it's part of the game. And I think no matter what you do, I think in every job or career too, you're gonna run into this. Maybe not to the extent that you do on YouTube, but there's always gonna be a percentage of people that don't like you or people that use your work. And I just wanna spend my energy on positive things. So.
How do you deal with hate? You get hate.
Well, yeah, I get hate. And I had hate saying I was taking advantage of people when I was in debt, like thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, that's just part of it. And I know inside myself, I'm very proud of what I've done, and I'm happy that I was able to help this family to the point that I did. It's a shame that it didn't continue onward, but the main thing is, do you feel good about what you're doing? And I feel really good about what I'm doing. And most people can see that. And I take the David Goggins approach. I don't know if you ever read David Goggins, but I love him. He's pretty intense, but he's the same thing. Don't spend any time on the haters. You have someone who loves what you're doing, respond to their comment. Don't get in some online fight. And you don't feed the fire, don't feed the trolls. You just let it roll, and then they find something else to get offended at, and you move on, and you spend your energy creating more positive things. Like, there's no time to waste. So the David Goggins approach is either don't read it at all, or if you don't like them, just block them. It's like they can talk shit on you as much as they want on their platform, but on your channel, block, okay.
Right? But you can only do that to a point. To a point when everything goes out of control, and then you can't just block them.
No, you can't block everyone, and you don't spend your time doing that either. But if you happen to be reading comments and you see some horrible thing that's not true, you can just kill it.
But if the hate starts coming from the person you are actually working with.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game, really. I mean, it's hard to step away from something, especially when you know the true potential and the loss. And the loss, I'm not exaggerating here, but it could have been 1,000 times bigger than it is. I'm not just pulling out that number. The things that were about to happen on this step one of the ladder that we had made it to, all the hard work was done. But at the end of the day, you have to have peace with yourself. And I don't want to be around people that I'm helping, and at the same time, they're trying to tear me down or ruin me. You know, that it's just not worth it. So sometimes you just have to say, okay, that's it. And it wasn't even me the one that walked away. It was the other party. So when the other party walked away, I said, okay, I've tried to steer this ship and keep things on the rails for a long time. And it's such a shame, and you don't even understand how much you are destroying, not for yourself, but many other people. But at some point, sometimes you have to just let things go.
Even before all this drama, there were tons of YouTubers coming to Ras Mokko's place, making a video, putting it on their channel. It would have been the most successful video on their channel.
Ever, yeah.
Ever,
yeah.
You know? Now, I mean, you were the person who worked together with Mokko to get him to that point that people started knowing about him and coming to him, right? Yet, did these people even reach out to you, saying like, Matthew, let's do a collab or something? Did they?
Only a handful did. Most of them no. And they would just go and shoot and kind of ride the coattails. And the thing that bothered me the most is that they never would big up the channel on the video. They would never put a link to it or say where they saw it. And this to me is the #1 rule of YouTube. You grow by helping others and turning on other audiences to your audience, or turning your audience onto other creators. And it is so easy to do. And very, very few of these creators would do that. And it's a real shame. And yeah, I mean, some people would ask for a collaboration, but what they really meant is, can I show up on the yard and do my thing? I would never get mentioned and whatever. And I'm fine, you don't need to mention my name, but like, at least link the channel. That's so easy to do. Or
well, they do need to mention your name. It's your channel. It's how you put it all together.
Yeah, but you know, it was focused on him, so I can understand.
Why
that
was
factor.
Mokko doing that with other? I'm gonna ask him eventually. I hope.
You'd have to ask him.
Yeah, because like, why was he like doing all of those videos with these other bloggers, and he wouldn't mention you either?
No. Have you ever heard him big me up?
No. But I haven't watched all of his content.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I've heard the opposite.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it goes.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, you want to grow your brand, and I don't know, maybe it's a fame thing. I don't know. But I mean, people are saying, oh, how much are these other creators contributing to his success? None. It was purely just, let me grab onto your brand and fame or whatever, and let me get some views off that. And you see that all the time. And it was really sad to see when Chucky passed, rest in peace to Chucky, how many vloggers that never met him, never knew anything about anything, making up crazy scandalous stories.
Don't even start. Oh my God.
Just for views. And honestly, it sickened me.
Absolutely.
And you know, the people that knew him best, like his daughter, obviously she knew him more than anyone, Simon and myself, we put up one video to notify people because we thought people should know, and that was it. And then you see people doing 10, 12, 15 videos about the topic, and it's just disgusting.
When I was researching for our interview, I found a YouTube channel that had like about 5 videos about Chucky.
Now the thing that these people don't realize is that they're playing a short-term game, because going viral doesn't mean much. You might gain some subs and that might be okay. That is a spike. That's not sustainable. You get a lot of views out of some hot topic, and then you go back to nothing, and you see it on all of these channels. So to me, it's completely disingenuous. A lot of times they're making up stories that are not true. They have some crazy conspiracy theory, and to most people, this is so clearly obvious, you're just doing this for views. But there's still a few people that think it's real.
On the 4th of May 2023, a content creator who lives in the same community as Rasta Mokko publishes a personal vlog enjoying her time at the river. But then she meets Rasta Mokko and his guest along the road, and Rasta Mokko suddenly shares that Matthew is a scammer.
You can go ahead now, Mr. Mokko.
I'm doing any more video with Matthew, you know. I drive for me now. I'm a big thief, big time scammer, you know. How can I make channels? How can I make channels? I mean, I get 50%.
Yeah. I'm disappointed to come here and hear the story that Matt was scamming all this time, making all these videos, not even a friend.
Yeah.
And then making all the money himself, not even giving Mokko a share.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed because I only find out when I come. Matthew makes it look all good on YouTube.
Yeah.
Makes him look like he's out here now and he's all sharing and all that. Nah, he's thieving, man.
Yeah.
So Mokko's gonna make a brand new channel and it's gonna be the best.
This person names the 45-minute Family River vlog Heartbroken Ras Kitchen mashup Mokko got robbed by Matthew. This video, the patient zero if you will, gets popular, people repost bits and pieces of it, and the drama goes viral. 1 month later, Matthew reacts by publishing his own video stating that the partnership was ended by Rasta Mokko and hence he can no longer publish videos with him.
And I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing, same as always. Bless up.
On On the same day, the Patient Zero video creator runs to Rasta Mokko to get his reaction, and a few hours later publishes a video where this time Rasta Mokko apologizes to Matthew and says good things about him.
Can go ahead, Mr. Mokko.
Oh, yeah, Matthew give me money. I give me my daughter money. So there's no problem. He's there, you know? And, you know, no problem is there. He's good, he's cool. When the time we are going to make the video and it's coming, come make video. And pay us, you know? But sometimes, I some misunderstanding. Sorry about that. You know? Big him up. Every time. Matthew that. And Mokko that. Mokko done that.
But a few days later, a random person calls Rasta Mokko at 4 a.m. from a number registered in South Africa with threats that if Rasta Mokko stops working with Matthew, the police will lock him up. Rasta Mokko gets very upset and walks away for good.
And this number sent this morning, threatened about Matthew. From 4 o'clock, this number called me and I sent all the bureaus threatening about Matthew. If you don't make video with Matthew again, you're not famous again. Then I can lock you up your life, put you away behind bars. Him, this white man here, he a thief like Matthew too. And he must send the threat him and Matthew. Make up them story, but it not gonna work. Like that.
So somebody puts up a video on YouTube where Ras Mokko is basically telling everyone that you are a scammer. You stole all his money, you paid him nothing, and so on. What? Why? What?
It's not just one person, you have to understand this.
No, this started with one person.
No. It started with one person posting a video, but the amount of people doing Badmind stuff and chatting about things they don't know about was multiple people. I'm not going to name them. Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But first, why would Mokko say that?
Again, there's multiple people that I know, some who have called me and threatened me, some people who've threatened me physically, some keyboard warriors, multiple people just telling him things that aren't right. So I don't know the exact reason why he would say that. I think it comes down to you have so many people around you, just chat, the Badmind thing, and it didn't matter what I did. So for example, at this time, when all of this was going down or beforehand, Ben Birney was on the yard, who is the most trusted friend of the family.
Yeah, right.
The son of the people who started that place or helped get it going. And he was there the entire time trying to put out the fire, trying to explain, going over banking, going, what are you talking about? Look here, look here, look here. He was trying to put out this fire. And I didn't even know it at the time. I was in Indonesia just doing my surfing thing, editing videos, putting them out. And when it came time to come to Jamaica, I just booked on Airbnb in that June or May it was. And then I had a message from the daughter saying, he doesn't want you to come. And I'm going, huh? Because as far as I knew, everything was going pretty smooth. But meanwhile, all this other stuff behind the scenes that I was unaware of was happening. So that's part of it. Very complicated.
So tell me something. Did you have a contract with Ras Mokko?
I tried to the first couple trips to have something going, but he was very reluctant to do any kind of paperwork of any kind.
He didn't want to sign anything?
No.
I had an issue with my wife. Is she would never put on the website that Mokko can't read or write. She's worried about people taking advantage of him for the fees. But his daughters can read and write. And he had a really good friend that helped him, Dwight. And he was a good friend of mine. And he tragically died young.
Oh.
But he was Mokko's partner in their farming, because they also farm. And he was a sharp cookie. He could do the books.
Are you still in touch with Mokko?
Oh, yeah. I haven't talked to him in a while. And I know he's got bad falling out with Matthew, which was a shame because Matthew really had their best interest at heart. Everybody was getting paid. You know, you can't just pay one person and say, can you spread the money around? They won't do that. You know, you have to pay them each individually. And he had it set up with banks and that. You know, and Mokko did good. And then... somebody came on and said put a bug in his ear that Matthew was ripping him off for millions of US dollars. Well, you don't make that kind of money on these documentaries, you know. Although Matthew did a very good job and he was sending money. We've seen the books. My son went last year, the glassblower, and he took Mokko to the bank and that. Yeah, and Matthew's got merchandise. You know, we got T-shirts, we got coffee mugs. It says "No fuckery" is his tagline, and you can buy that. And you can't now. I mean, Matthew was very hurt when this happened.
He was hurt? You think he was hurt?
Very, very hurt. And he said, and then now he's getting threats and stuff because the word is out that he's ripping Mokko off for millions of US dollars, which is not that. I mean, we've seen the books, and.
So wait a minute. What do you mean you've seen the books? Was Ben helping to send money out, or what was happening?
No, but it all comes through the mail into the bank, and you can go to the bank and see all the deposits.
All right, you need to change the battery in that one. He cannot read and write at all?
It was very complicated because you think he's like understanding, right? And you're trying to explain something.
Right.
But he
doesn't
like
understand?
right over the head. Like to read a release form or something,
he can't read
would
it?
have no idea. He can't use a smartphone. He doesn't have an email. He cannot type.
Can he call?
I think he has numbers saved on the phone that he can call and recognizes. He might know the basic numbers and stuff. But as far as like reading something and writing something, yeah.
Why? Why did you have to choose a guy like that? You could have chosen, I don't know, Judge Abel, who's an incredible singer.
But Judge Abel's not a cook.
Man, you can find so many guys in Jamaica who's a Rasta man and can cook.
Now that I know.
Now you know.
Yeah. Find the hard way.
Taking advantage of an illiterate man. That's the claim that was thrown at you.
Yeah.
Now, let's assume if somebody like Ras Mokko cannot read or write or has issues with that. Now, does it mean that you shouldn't have started working with him because of that?
I don't know. I don't know if that's an easy question to answer.
It is not. That's why I'm asking you to answer that.
The way I feel like that is if you have trust with someone and you've built a friendship over 7 years and there hasn't been any issues like that coming up, maybe it's the right decision. But again, you can't tell the future or how many Badmind people are going to be around, or you don't know how things are going to shift and change. So it's really hard to see that. But at some point in time, you have to have trust in people. You can't live your life isolated and just like, I'm not going to interact with anyone or never start a business with anyone because I'm afraid things are going to go sour. Same with relationships. You can't just stay single your whole life because you might get your heart broke. You have to just try things. And after building up things in a relationship over those first 7 years, I thought, I think I can make this work. Like, we have a good rapport, we're friends first. He can see the benefit of all the guests starting to come and saving money and the property's getting improved. I thought this positive side of things growing and you can see it, why would you want to destroy that? Just let it roll and the sky's the limit. Who knows how far it can go.
Right. If you had a contract like all the normal TV shows do, Ras Mokko wouldn't be allowed to be featured in other YouTubers' videos without your permission. Because that is a part of the deal. And then what happened was, people were coming from all over the place, coming to stay with him, shoot a video with him. When your channel already had like 500,000 subscribers, Ras Mokko is already famous. His talent, for sure, is one of the reasons, his charisma, that he became a star of the show. But it was how his talent was portrayed in the YouTube video. And we can see that very well now with his own channel, where he's still there. His talent and charisma is still there. Not many people are watching it because without the storytelling, without the proper editing, the light, the music, the entire show is no longer show. It's just a YouTube video of some guy cooking something at the backyard. Now, the problem is that you've built that show together with him. It was a partnership. It was for mutual benefit.
Yep.
Yet people keep trying to find a way who exploits whom. So who do you think was exploiting whom? Or do you think it was an equal partnership?
I don't think anyone was exploited because the very definition of exploitation is taking advantage of someone, or someone does all the work and then the other person keeps everything. In this case, I'm doing 99% of the work. I'm putting in 100% of the finance. I'm taking 100% of the risk. There's no downside. So to me, this was a win-win situation. You get an Airbnb business that's popping off to the point where you can buy a vehicle and build a new house and all this kind of thing. I get the benefit of starting to create an income on YouTube. And to me, that's a win-win. Both parties are gaining. Not to mention getting paid from the channel and me going there and promoting him and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it was a very clear win-win. But if you look at it and you don't know the situation, maybe people have other opinions on that. But
when I spoke to Rasta Mokko in person, I left on a very positive note. But a few weeks after, I got an email from a fake law firm with the subject cease and desist, threatening me if I were to proceed with this documentary. Just to be clear, this letter is not from Rasta Mokko. It is from someone who pretends it is sent on his behalf, while Rasta Mokko might not even be aware of it. And until now, there has never been any content featuring Rasta Mokko on my channel, so defamation based on what? But I'm bringing up this letter because it's a perfect example of the core problem behind all the drama situation. Most people don't understand how media works. These guys genuinely think I need permission from Mr. Jackson to feature him. And of course I don't. And even if I did, it would not be from him, but from the content creators who filmed him. They have the copyright. And this is where people get confused, because what about our image and likeness? Don't we have the right to our own face? Not always. When it comes to Rasta Mokko, well, he gave his full permission to be filmed. And once you do that, you give the right to use your image and likeness in that video to that creator, and you cannot take it back. But there was another problem. The entire drama with Rasta Mokko was based on whether he was compensated for his contribution fairly, while most people did not know what fair compensation even was. Like, how much people in creative industries earn. Videos are created in 3 stages: pre-production, production, and post-production. To do all of this, you need a budget. Let's say you have $1 million. You use this money to pay the crew, rent equipment, secure locations, and cover all other costs. As a result, you get a product, your film or TV show. Then you need to sell it. The goal is to get your budget back and hopefully make a profit. And the rule is usually very simple. Whoever risks the money gets all the profits. Let's say our show made $50 million. What percentage, like royalty fees, do you think I should pay to the crew, including the star? The answer is 0. They get nothing because they were already paid from the budget. That's what it was for. Such an arrangement is called front-end fees because everyone is paid up front, usually as a daily rate or a flat rate. The key person, like the top star or the lead actor of, say, Netflix show, might have a flat rate around at 10% of the budget, not the profit, the budget. So if the budget is 1 million, the star gets 100,000 max. Regardless if the show makes 500 million later, that all stays with the studio. And if the project fails, well, not my problem, son. As a star, I get to keep my 100K. And that's how it works. Not because the studios are greedy, but because nobody wants to work for free and risk whether the show is gonna make money or not. Yet when it comes to the Ras Kitchen show, some people advised Rasta Mokko that because the show is based on him, he should be getting 20% or maybe 50% from the profits. Such an arrangement in the film industry is known as back-end fees, aka a share of the profits. And this is something practiced in Hollywood with A-list top-tier actors. And the industry standard is not 50%, it is between 1% and 5%, sometimes negotiated up to 10%. Back-end fees make sense in Hollywood because films can make hundreds and millions of dollars, and even 1% from that is a lot of money. However, regular TV shows never make that much money, so back-end fees are not normally practiced because often there is just not enough back-end to share. Also, the budgets of such shows, especially indie shows like Ras Kitchen, are tiny. And that's why the percentage from the budget or from the profit is never used in such cases. Instead, you pay a flat rate or daily rate, which is based on what the crew, including the star of the show, would normally earn in the region. Let's look at some real situation. Do you know how much actors are paid in Jamaica?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Did you ever try to find out?
No.
Because you could have hired an actor to be in your show. Did you think of that?
No.
Why not?
This is doing real life. This is
All right.
authentic. So I'm gonna find a real thing, not acting.
Yeah, but professional actors can act a real thing.
I don't know if
And
they
they
could.
can sometimes do it much better than real life people because they actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never thought of that.
No.
All right, just for people to know, it's about 30,000 Jamaican dollars per day. So it's like
Yeah.
about 12 hours of shooting. So it's like 200 US.
Okay.
Right? It's not cheap
Yeah.
to hire good actors. I'm not talking about some
Extras. You're talking
extras.
about like
no,
proper
I'm talking
actor.
about good, just good actor to be on your show. Now, tell me how many days, like production days, you were shooting on Ras Mokko's yard?
This is a fact that surprises people because they imagine I'm there 24/7 with a camera just vlogging their whole
Right.
life.
Yeah.
That's
right.
what the perception, and I understand that because I'm posting once a week, so it kind of seems like I'm always there. But the reality is, some years I would only be there 1 week a year shooting. Some years I would be there 2 weeks. I think maybe the most I ever spent in a calendar year was like 3 weeks there. Now, I don't mean full days. I mean, I'm in Jamaica at that time, so I'd say maybe on average like 10 days a year.
10 days a year.
Maybe 15, maybe.
30,000 Jamaican dollars per day. About 3,000 US dollars per year. That's what it would have cost you to hire a professional actor to do your cooking show.
Well, that would have been way smarter financially, but it wouldn't have the same vibe. But that is.
So are you saying that you paid more to Ras Mokko than 3,000 per year?
Well, do you know how much a van costs in Jamaica, like a Toyota van?
Well, he's running his Airbnb, right? So he's making money. So that's my other question. Did you actually pay him for the Airbnb while you were staying?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
was it
while
for
I'm staying
free?
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it wasn't free.
No,
it wasn't
I
like
never.
you came to the yard, he provides you with the Airbnb, does he? Or you're actually paying for it?
I pay everything. It's like a production fee. It's like, I still wanted to support what he's doing as a guest house. So I'd pay the guide fee, I'd buy the food, pay the transport.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you, who pays for all the food ingredients in the cooking show?
We go to this grocery store, get what we need, and I would buy everything, or he would have some stuff, grown on the yard already, or.
No, the reason I'm asking is because when people start, people love to count everybody else's money. Somebody else's money, yeah, my husband is like, yeah. Yeah, somebody else's money is always nice to count. But people don't think what goes into it, and I do recognize the fact that Ras Mokko has his property, you're shooting on his property, so you have to pay him for this property, but apparently you did.
I thought it was fair because it's like, okay, you're on location, he's spending his time as a guide, okay, I'll pay that, and paying for meals, it just kind of makes sense, I thought.
All right, so basically you covered the entire cost of production.
Everything, yeah.
All right, apart from some fruits. And
well,
things
yeah, if you
from
get
the
some
yard.
free fruits or something,
Right.
or
Yeah. Yeah. All right, okay, fair enough.
But an actor is, that's definitely cheaper than.
An actor's an
that
actor.
way.
Now, do you know how much it costs to actually hire a cameraman in Jamaica? Because some people said you were like Mokko's cameraman. Do you know how much a cameraman costs in Jamaica?
How much?
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Actually, more expensive than in Canada.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it's from 200 to 600 US dollars per day.
Yeah. Oh, that's
right?
good.
For a 12-hour shoot day. And that's just the camera, well, not the cameraman, the director of photography, right? I'm not talking about a blogger with a GoPro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the professional person who knows what he's doing. And that's without the camera, then you have to pay extra for the camera.
Yeah, you
That's
got,
another,
you got the
like,
equipment fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another like $400 or so, right? So you're looking at around between whatever, $600 to $1,000 per day to have the production. Yeah. And that's why my husband is dealing with 3 cameras. People never think about that.
No, and for example, when I did that shooting all the farmers and that kind of thing for the day, traveling around.
Oh yeah.
I had travel budget, I had per diem, I had hotel money, I got paid on mileage, and I think I don't remember exactly, maybe I got like $800 a day. So that's why it's funny to compare to like YouTube income. It's like,
oh no, if you look at the YouTube income, it's a joke.
Like, oh, if I could get a couple gigs a week again, that'd be pretty sweet.
Rasta Mokko mentioned in multiple videos how much exactly Matthew was paying him and the family every month. But I will not disclose the exact number here because such private financial information is sensitive data and ideally should never be published on YouTube. The same goes for the Ras Kitchen show in general. It's not a public company, so whatever it earns is none of our business. And this could have been the end of the story, if not for the fact that Matthew also started a GoFundMe page with 100% of the funds going to Rasta Mokko. And this is everybody's business because it is an official public charity campaign. To be transparent, Matthew, for his part, agreed to GoFundMe terms, including its organizer obligations, which require him to keep clear records of all transactions and upon official request provide all the documents verifying how exactly all this money was sent to the beneficiary, because GoFundMe protects the beneficiary, in this case, Rasta Mokko. Despite this, there were claims that Rasta Mokko never received any of this money. So what happened with the GoFundMe page then? Did you start it?
Yeah. That's a really good question. So I started getting donations here and there through PayPal, and I thought, oh, this would be a really great idea to make this more public so people can see what's going on, and then there won't be any problems. No, guess what happened? Instead, I don't know exactly who started it, but someone was telling him, oh, he's not giving you the money. Meanwhile, I'm sending it every single month. So despite my explanations or sending screenshots and whatever, for whatever reason, the information was not being received. So it's a real shame because I forget what it got to, but I think over $10,000, which is pretty incredible. That was the nice thing about it. I thought, oh, when someone sees someone else donating, it makes them more willing to donate.
What was the reason of starting a GoFundMe? I thought it was because Ras Mokko asked you or something?
No, this was, I think before the channel was successful, and before I was generating anything, I thought, well, it's still getting attention. And I think randomly I'd posted something, hey, if you can donate to the PayPal, you can help buy him a goat, because one of his goats got stolen. And very quickly he got enough money to pay for a goat. So I thought, oh, that's amazing. So I thought a GoFundMe would be a good way to get donations publicly so that everything's in the clear. And then, because I'd have people just offer it, and I didn't even have anything set up. So it's kind of pointless to, if someone wants to help, to not have a way to do that. And GoFundMe was an easy way to do that. Now, as you may know, GoFundMe at the time, you couldn't connect to a Jamaican bank account, and that may still be the case today, I'm not sure.
Still the case.
Which is why I was dealing with it, because it was the only way to do it. Now, the sad thing about that is that whoever was talking all this stuff that wasn't true was able to convince him, and I ended up shutting it down because I was getting angry emails from people saying you're stealing. And I'm just going, this is so crazy. So.
Oh, so wait, that was before this drama started?
This is before the drama started. This is way before. I shut it down, I don't remember when, like maybe a couple years before. And it was really sad because I was still getting people going, hey, I want to send $200 to Mokko. Can you give it to him? And I have to go, nope, I don't do that anymore. But I don't know. I really don't know how to explain that one.
The core of the GoFundMe issue is partially in how the fundraiser actually works. Unlike other platforms, GoFundMe doesn't wait for a goal to be reached. Payouts are made monthly based on donations received. The total raised was over 11,000, but this was spread over time, which means on average it was about 300 per month. However, when the fundraiser page was discovered by random people, they saw the full total without any context of monthly payouts that had already been sent. And if they were to show the total to Rasta Mokko asking, have you received over 11,000 in one go? And obviously he hadn't. And that's what kept the confusion going.
So why Ras Mokko? Why not some other Rasta?
Well, I mean, the original reason was that was my first point of contact, and that's who I met, and I enjoyed the company, and he made some really damn good food too. So, I mean, still to this day, despite all the nonsense, it's some of the best chicken that I've ever had in my life. It's some of the best soups I've ever had in my life. Probably the best red herring rundown I've ever had in my life. So
he's a good chef.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, not everything's a hit, as you can probably tell, but man, like some of those things are absolutely unreal, which is why I thought, yeah, this should be a good way to, good way to work with someone.
So when originally you wanted to do a cooking show, basically you met the first person who you thought was nice, and you're just...
Well, it was really nice for many, many years, and very, very cool for many, many years. So
okay.
In one way, that was a very right decision, but in other ways, obviously down the road.
Okay, right. The entire show was originally based on Ras Mokko as a result, yeah? So it was a cooking show, and he was the star chef.
Yeah.
Right? So the point, as you know, the criticism people are bringing is that if it wasn't for him, there would be no show if it wasn't for him.
Well, there wouldn't be that show exactly with that person as a chef. That's true, and maybe things would have turned out differently. It's really hard to talk about these what-if situations, like what if it had been someone else? What if it had been at this time or that time? So it's really hard to say. I still really love the idea, and if it didn't work out with the first person I met, which happened to be Mokko, I would have looked for someone else to try and fulfill this idea. So. But yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree. That was my main idea for the original show, like I stated, was I wanted to do an ITAL cooking show. I wasn't necessarily planning to be on camera that much. I just wanted to have someone who was a real Rastafarian, who understood farming, who understood cooking, and that was the character energy that I was looking for. But yeah, you're right. Maybe it would have never worked at all. I don't know. We can't say.
One of the key issues that some people had with your show is that it was based on Jamaican culture. More importantly, Ras Mokko. So people see it like you took all that, basically exploiting Jamaican culture and gave nothing in return, or didn't give enough in return. So what can you respond to this?
Yeah, like the idea of taking advantage of, or whatever. We'll throw in the word that you see in comment sections sometimes, culture vulture. I mean, it's kind of a funny word.
Cultural appropriation.
Ah, come on. Culture vulture is what the word is. Yeah, I mean, people will judge me sometimes because I'm not Jamaican, but I'm doing video on Jamaican culture.
Precisely.
But
I get that.
Yeah, you get. I mean,
I get that too all
sure.
the time. So what would you tell them?
I think doing something about a culture is definitely not taking from it. You're merely just showing something that you're interested in and care about, and that's really the purpose of it. Now, it might be different if I grew dreadlocks and then started telling everyone what a real Rastafari was, and you shouldn't eat this and you can't eat that and you shouldn't drink alcohol. If I was trying to be the judge of everybody, maybe that would have, I would agree with you. But I'm merely just trying to show what I find interesting and what I see. It's sort of two disparate worlds that you have here. I'm a videographer, trained interviewer, shooter, editor, video producer, whatever you want to call it. And then this world of a country living, farming Rastafarian, those two worlds don't really cross that much. So if I never made this, maybe you would never see anything like it around. So that was, one of the reasons why I thought, wow, I'm so interested in this, and I'm sure other people would be too. So to me, the purpose of sharing this stuff was just a genuine interest and love, and that's all I wanted to convey. But
are you sure you're not misrepresenting Rastafari culture? That's the problem.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think I'm trying to represent Rasta culture at all. I mean, I'm literally just showing up in Jamaica, meeting people, filming interviews, showing what I see. I'm not trying to inject any of my tastes or opinions on any of it. I'm just kind of showing what is there. So it really is just documenting what's already out there. I'm not trying to control a view or a vision or push a narrative. It's just, here, I'm interested in Rastafari culture. Here's some people that I've met. This is what they have to say. You'll notice with the channel, I have the name Ras Kitchen, but this is not like a be-all, end-all deep dive on, you know, Rastafarian belief systems and history. It's really a much lighter view of spending time with people in Jamaica that are part of that world.
Wow, you slide so fast. If I slide...
Because I'm shooting in slow-mo.
Right?
So by the time I slow it, it's good to go. I shoot in 120 and then you have to move it fast, otherwise it's too slow. So you have to...
Duh.
And then it makes your B-roll 4 times faster to shoot, right?
Could someone tell me that earlier? I wasn't sure how to do that.
Yeah.
I was slowing it down, it was too slow.
So if you're shooting in 60, you know, go like this. If you're shooting 120, you can go like this. If you're shooting 240, you can go...
What?
And then if you're just doing 30, that's what you gotta do regular.
I see. All right. Thank you. That's a tip.
Yeah, well, this is the easy, fast way.
So I'm gonna copy your style now as well.
No, do it.
This place is known as Calby's Hidden Beauty, and it's one of my favorite locations in Jamaica. Over the years, it has become very popular with the locals, so if you like parties and events, come on weekends and public holidays. But it's best to choose weekdays to enjoy a more quiet and peaceful experience, like camping in these beautiful secluded spots. To learn more about the place, check out the Ras Kitchen channel for the full video Matthew filmed with Calby. One of the biggest misconceptions that some people had about the Ras Kitchen show is that they assumed the channel made millions of dollars on YouTube and saw Matthew as this calculated businessman who had a strategy to extract money from Jamaica.
So, how much do you make on YouTube? All right, so we're going to start with how much YouTubers make. Now, I know, right? Because I've been there. But I've noticed there is a very nice website telling me that the net worth of Matthew Pancer apparently is between $1.5 million to $3 million US.
Damn!
So, look at it. Yes. So I'm not sure why my husband is here now. I made sure I put some makeup on. Excuse me, sir. So tell me, how did you make your millions on YouTube, right?
Oh my gosh, gotta love Social Blade. It's so funny. It gives creator specifics, which other YouTubers grab onto, and it could be something as simple as like, this creator makes between $300,000 and $30,000 a year. You're like, yo, you might as well just say nothing, because that is making no sense. So it's like this celebrity net worth. How would they ever possibly know what someone's net worth is? But
no,
I can tell you, YouTube, it's a lot more difficult than people think, and it's not this easy money that people think it is. There are expenses. Yeah, basically anything that I've managed to create in my life, nothing is from YouTube. It's from previous endeavors in my life that I got to the point where I'm at. YouTube has been, it's been a very interesting and fun and crazy way to kind of sustain my life for a bit. But yeah, I don't really have anything to show for it. Everything you make usually ends up going back into it, or if you have good times, they cover the bad times. And believe me, as you know, there's plenty of bad times, whether that's macro stuff like ad rates just overall are down, or whether your channel's views aren't as much. There's all kinds of things affecting it. So
I have already posted a video on my channel about how much I earn on YouTube. So if you want to see the real numbers with the real screenshots and the video shots from my YouTube analytics, please feel free to watch that video. If you want to start your YouTube channel, you will know exactly what your chances are earning quite a good living on YouTube.
it's interesting to see I think it's really cool. It's not my type of content that I like to watch, but I see a lot of these really raw dog vloggers, what I call them, where it's nothing edited, 2 hours long. Personally, I can't stand watching that stuff, but obviously some people do. And stick a GoPro on your head and walk around. And some of these people grow huge audiences.
They do.
And that's amazing. And somehow people watch it. And that's great for them. And you know, that type of content to make is much easier than what you or I make. I mean, the amount of research that you put into your projects is so mind-blowing to me. I'm sort of just running around, seeing what I get, and I spend a lot of time on the post. And I can see you spend a lot of time on the pre.
As well.
But it's, you know, like I said, going back to the time of, I don't even know how you put up more than 10 minutes a month. It seemed crazy.
Right, I know, right?
And then now it's like, for me to do a half-hour video, that can take me sometimes 40 hours for the week if I'm really nailing it with the audio and the graphics and the sound and like trying to make a unique cut. And, like, it's a different way of doing it. So I think that's where this like, oh, this is so easy type thing. I can just film something on my phone and then I get lots of money. There's always a small percentage getting that, but every creator creates differently.
Two things. People see that you travel. People see that you go around. People see that you are like have all this equipment. You're obviously rich. You look rich. You look
No one has ever said that before.
Right, but there you have it.
Yeah.
You speak with a Canadian accent, so of course you're rich, because all Canadians are rich.
Oh, okay.
No, but that's their vision. The situation is that people assume that all the stuff that you do is because of the YouTube money.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, I wish it was. I wish the Social Blade numbers were true. That would be awesome, but I was still working in a sales job up until 2018. So I was how old? 36 or something, still doing my sales job part-time. I invested in property when I was younger and I've scaled up a couple times since then. So I have a few different rental properties that I rent out. So I've always had that as a base income. So I've always had multiple things and been self-employed. And that's really where anything that I've built up as far as net worth or anything goes, it comes from stuff that I've done like nothing to do with YouTube channel.
And that's the money that helped you to actually keep shooting videos and at start.
Yeah, that's the money that I used to fund starting the YouTube channel was all things that I did previously. Or you just get a credit line and go into debt and then try to pay off interest, you know? Like, it's just how the game goes. I had some really crazy hater videos about me living this lavish lifestyle. There's like a photo of me in Malaysia in front of the Petronas Towers or something. Like, it costs $30 a night to stay in Malaysia. They don't understand my situation where I live downtown Toronto. I can rent out my apartment while I'm gone, sublet it, and that covers my entire trip to Indonesia for 3 months.
Oh yeah, because Indonesia is nothing like Jamaica.
I mean, you can eat out for a few dollars. You can stay at places that are $10 a night. So the ticket might cost you a little more, but just by subletting, I can go live there for free. Now, if you look at it in a different way and maybe don't understand the cost of travel, you go, this guy's paying thousands. He's staying in lavish places in Indonesia. He's in Thailand and but if you actually know the economics of these travel, you don't see me hanging out in like Monaco or Paris or New York. I'm going to like where $20 a night is, woo, that's nice. It is way cheaper to live in Indo than it is to come to Jamaica.
Even for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
Unfortunately,
wild.
This is the situation. The cost of living in Jamaica is madness. So what's the cost of production? Tell me.
Well,
can you share?
Yeah, I mean, I guess each trip, if I come for a couple weeks, maybe I'm in for $800, $1,000, depending on the timing of year. I always go cheap. Your accommodation's at least gonna cost you another $1,000. And a car, usually another $1,000. So I can maybe say like 3,000–4,000 Canadian for each trip that I come here.
Subscription fees.
Yeah.
People don't know that we have subscription fees. Hey!
Wow, yeah.
Can you share that?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Adobe Studio, that's like $80 US a month. Normally you need music, which thank God is much easier now than it was back in the day when I had to reach out to independent artists. You have costs like captions. In the past, patois, most people can't understand that. I wanted to make it accessible. And I have an awesome guy in Mobay named Colin, so shout out Colin, much respect. Colin did a lot of the captioning once I had the budget to be able to afford that. But I've probably paid out over $3,000–4,000 in just captions.
Oh, wow.
I used to do it myself, and that was a very time-consuming process, but that's another fee. What else is there? I mean, Canada, we get taxed like crazy, so you gotta pay taxes. What's that?
You now
I have a company, yeah.
You have a company now.
Yeah, so you pay bookkeeping, you pay accounting, you pay corporate fees,
Oh,
and all of these things add up. So unless you're really generating, it's not very good to have that as an option. So yeah, it can be tough.
Demonetization.
Ah! It's a very mysterious thing with YouTube and how they deal with creators, and I've had many fights, and I've had multiple meetings with bigwigs at YouTube. So they keep their language around drugs, quote unquote. Unfortunately, they include marijuana in there. I disagree, it's a plant. However, they have very strict rules with that. You cannot promote it in a positive fashion. So I got in big trouble for my ganja growing videos at home on my other channel, showing how many pounds I was getting and how to trim herb and dry it and cure it. And on Ras Kitchen, I've had many videos demonetized simply because there was a spliff in it or showed some herb, even if it was part of the cultural mesh of that particular video. So, but I've had big fights with YouTube saying they demonetized my whole channel, saying I was like—
Oh, they demonetized the channel?
My other channel.
Oh, the other channel?
Yeah.
Because you were showing some stuff, they did herbs.
I was showing—
Let's call it herbs.
I was showing herbs, but they called it drug production.
What?
Now in Canada, herb is legal, so everything's legal. But they still gave me so much shit. The other thing demonetizing, as I mentioned, is I've had this is why unfortunately I don't work with too many independent artists anymore, because I used to get awesome music sent to me from producers, and I was happy to promote the producers and the music. Again, let's both lift up together. But some producers wouldn't clear the tracks for me, so they'd say I had use and could use it in the video, and then the video would get demonetized and go to a record label, and then the person would never get back to me. Now, I gotta thank all the producers that did send me tons of music, because some of them were amazing, and I had awesome, unique dub music to put in the show, and I take the music of the show very seriously because it's all part of that vibe and that energy. And I used to spend hundreds of hours combing through free music sites and reaching out independently saying, hey, can I use your music in the video, to do that. Now it's easier with the websites, but there's only so many good reggae tunes and dub tunes in the YouTube library, and you got to get beyond that, I think.
Brand deals.
Did
you manage to get any brand deals?
I got a few, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did that work? Because your channel is not particularly the kind of channel where brand deals are like super attracted to, but they still reach out?
Well, they definitely reached out, and I had an agency I was working with for a while that did help get some through the door, and some of them were like really awesome, and I really appreciated doing them. And with companies I like, I shot down a lot of stuff. Like, I'm probably the wrong one to sell engagement rings, if you know what I mean, unfortunately. But things like Audible or Vessi shoes, or what else did I do? This awesome protein cereal that I can't remember the name of, but yeah, it was pretty cool. But again, it's not a dependable income. It's just kind of
one-time thing.
A one-time thing, and you're lucky if you get to. Now, if you get a brand to sponsor you on board where you consistently do their products every show, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I would think, like, I had brand deals reaching out to me, but they were all not the kind of deals I would want to put on my channel.
Authenticity is a huge thing, and I've turned down a lot of money because I didn't think it fit the vibe of the channel.
Yeah, were you offered to promote adult toys?
No, not yet.
Well, you see, I get these deals all the time.
I had
channel, I have no idea.
I had the offer for the one for like shaving your balls. I turned down that one. I mean, maybe I should. There's nothing wrong with manscaping.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the most ridiculous brand deal you ever got offered? Go on.
They had some magic elixir drink that was supposed to be a coffee alternative and made you so productive and efficient. And I went through the whole package in a week and 2 weeks. And then I'm emailing the guy, like, guys, this doesn't do shit. Like, I can't sell this. And they're like, no, you gotta take it longer. So I took it again, and it didn't do shit. So I said, hey, I can't do this one. I only wanna promote someone, like, products that I like and wanna use, because if you lose your credibility, you lose everything pretty quick, you know? So you have to keep it real. And you may lose money short term, but I think the long-term benefits are better. So if I'm doing a sponsor, it's because I like it and use the product.
Why don't you move to live in Jamaica?
I don't want to live anywhere 24/7. I love Toronto. I got my family, my friends there. There's certain things in Canada that work really well, like Amazon, Uber Eats, some nice things that I do enjoy. I definitely plan on spending more time in Jamaica as the future progresses. It seems to be that's where things are leading. But I love to travel, and I usually spend 3 months in Indonesia every winter, and I like to continue doing that. So yeah, I think I always dreamed about having a 6 month lifestyle, and this is almost the way I've been living for the last 7-8 years. And yeah, I'll just continue. I'll continue to be someone who loves spending time in Jamaica, but yeah, I just can't be in one place, I don't think.
You will still be coming to Jamaica though?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah? You bought land in Jamaica?
I did. Myself and a close friend of mine here. And that project has been pretty slow, partially due to drama, partially due to my own personal life things happening. But yeah, it's in the works, and like they say, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Now things have been pretty slow, and it's about time to, okay, let's get moving on that. But again, there's no real rush. But yeah, someday there's going to be a really cool Airbnb that my friend and I have created, and hopefully I can invite you and anyone who's watching this to come and stay and check out the place in my favorite parish, which is St.Thomas. The most underrated parish, in my opinion. A beautiful place. So yeah, I still got lots of love for Jamaica despite everything that happened, and yeah, that's the future.
Ras Kitchen was the first show to bring international attention to St. Thomas Parish, reshaping the perception of rural Jamaica and showing it as a safe and welcoming place. People from rural communities, often stigmatized by traditional media, became the stars of the show, making millions around the world fall in love with them. The audience of Ras Kitchen didn't just want to visit Jamaica, they wanted authenticity. So they skipped popular tourist areas to seek out private homes, putting the money directly into the hands of people in local communities. And perhaps the most fascinating part, none of it was even planned. Dave and Dianne Birney simply wanted to help Rasta Mokko and his family, but ended up setting off a chain of events that led to the show, which shared so many positive moments and captivated audiences with its unforgettable vibes.
On the road of life.
Today, the Ras Kitchen show has moved far beyond just one yard in St. Thomas. It now shares many inspiring stories, creating even more diverse content and featuring more amazing people. The focus is still on Jamaica, but you will also find unique content filmed in other parts of the Caribbean and even some cuisine stories from around the world. Ras Kitchen has no awards, no official recognition, no government support, but the ripple effect of the show is that it accidentally made a significant contribution to community tourism in Jamaica. And that is why Ras Kitchen is one of the most influential shows about Jamaican culture produced to date.
On this road of life, which way you gonna turn? On the road of life, yeah. Which way are you going? On the road of life. Check out your vibe.